99 points. NASDAQ up 144. The S&P 500 up by 40. Again, the high today 83. It is 80 in Dallas, 83 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 2:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Red Oak. Red Oak, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Will Height Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to willheightwins.com.
Hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back. Happy Monday. I'm ready to go. It's embarrassing. Sometimes it's embarrassing because you got to follow Dan Bongino, and he has a cool little liner in his show. It's like, the most informative 3 hours of radio you'll hear all day. And then I got to come in behind him, and I'm worried because I think this might be the dumbest James Show that you've heard. This may be the dumbest 3 hours of your entire day. And part of it's going to be me, of course. I'm not exactly a Rhodes Scholar, but the audio bites. I mean, you're going to, like, are you a fan of Beavis and Butthead? Did you watch Beavis and Butthead 30 years ago or whatever? Because I was, but when I went to see the movie, I went with my friends Matt and Jeff, and when we walked out of the theater, we like, man, I think we're all dumber than we were 90 minutes ago. And this might have a similar effect. Like, you might have to go read a book or watch a documentary just to sort of undo today's James Show. So stick around for the most ridiculous audio sound bites coming out of the news. We're going to start, though. My first guest, Anthony Russo, the host of the Truth Will Set You Free podcast, back on the James Show. And we heard from this morning, the judge in the Trump case up in New York City now says that he's considering... Yeah, shut up. He's considering jail time for Trump. You think this will happen, Anthony?
I don't. I mean, he's threatening it. I don't think it will. I don't think he can afford it. I don't think the Democrats can afford it. And when I say the Democrats, I'm also talking about the judge, because Marshawn clearly is part of that, what I would consider force or payroll. Because if he actually takes Trump, puts him behind bars for being in contempt, that will even further escalate his popularity, even amongst independents at this point, because all he's doing to actually go against the gag order is simply just saying that these things are unfair. It will continue to make a mockery of the court, New York, everything going on, and it will actually bolster him. So Marshawn is threatening it. I think he just made it up to now $10,000 in fines. This one was another $1,000. I think that he's, again, it's grandstanding at this point.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I see over the weekend that one of the things Trump is being fined for, that he's having to take down, is he is doing a repost of a screenshot of a letter that Stormy Daniels wrote that said she didn't have an affair with Trump?
Correct. So she did that. He reshared that, and he's also, I think, one of the quotes, which I think is ridiculous, that this actually violates a gag order, is the fact that he is saying they are keeping me. This judge in trial is keeping me from campaigning in its election interference. That's another one of the things that apparently is part of the gag order, from what I'm reading. There's a lot of different. It's very vague, to be honest, on exactly what he's violating. But I heard that about Stormy Daniels. There was the other one about Hope Hicks that he said, and he's saying a lot of things that seem like you should be allowed to say and should be violating a gag order that Marshawn is punishing him on.
Well, I had on a legal expert last week who said, look, if Trump's violating the gag order, he should be fined and maybe even go to jail. If he knows what the rules are, he can just get surrogates to say what he's trying to say.
Exactly, which is why Trump is, and he's not wrong. But that's why Trump is playing the game. He's going to try to push the judge into a corner that even his keepers, the judge's keepers, knows that he should not or can't do. So I guess is Trump calling his bluff? I think we both can assume what that would do for Trump if he ends up having to go to jail for being in contempt.
I saw a poll on CNN that said 20% of Trump voters would reconsider their vote if he's found guilty in this New York case. Do you put a lot of stock in that?
I do not. I really do think if 20, is there a percentage? Yeah, I think there's some middle grounders or some people that maybe just don't pay attention to really what's going on out of that group. a lot of Trump voters are very educated in terms of what's going on. People can argue whether or not they're quote unquote educated people, but you can say that they're very educated in what is the going on of Trump. Whereas there might be a couple percent that's like, I can't vote for somebody that got found guilty of something. So I do think it'll have a small effect. 20% sounds like a typical CNN style number.
Well, it was a sneaky way to phrase it. Would you reconsider your vote? Not would you vote against him, or would you withdraw your vote? Would you just would you even think about? Well, of course you're going to tell a surveyor. Yeah, I mean, if he's found guilty of a crime, I'd have to go look at it. Sure, I'd reconsider, but that doesn't mean they're going to switch if he's found guilty. I think that's what they're hoping for, though.
No, I think that's got to be what they're trying to get out of this case. Really, I mean, I say that, but ultimately what I really believe they're trying to get out of this case is just continued fodder to say he's a criminal without ever actually getting him indicted.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, because the real value out of this is the 6 months of negative headlines that they can crank out of this.
Right. I just said so indicted is what they already have. Convicted is going to be very difficult, but they know that the American population, typically when they hear the word indicted, it's bad enough. So they're just going to keep using indicted until it indicts him blue in the face, to the point where maybe they can shift just enough voters or distract voters enough from the fact that Joe Biden does not know where he is on a regular basis to make this actually work.
On the Truth Will Set You Free podcast, who is that aimed at?
I mean, we are more conservative based, obviously, but fact is, I came from a Democrat upbringing. I was a two-time Obama voter, and then I just decided to start really investing myself into the knowledge of the ways of the world. And not to say that the Republicans are perfect, but it's leaning towards the right, and it's where we try to have difficult conversations with people from across the aisle or different people. We've had people from Antifa that have been on our shows. And we also try to make sure that we are only providing what we can prove. And I think that that's a mistake in a lot of media these days. They talk about things that are presumptuous. Twitter, Facebook, all the different social media platforms just throw out a lot of information on both sides that just can't be proven. So we try to stick to what we can prove, and then we discuss it.
Anthony Russo, we all love a good conversion story. What changed your mind? What was the first issue where you're like, hang on a second, I don't think I'm being told the whole truth here?
Yeah, really, Michael Brown was a turning point. I grew up in St. Louis, and watching that play a role. And then I owned my own business, and I started to see just the tomfoolery behind that soft mentality. And you having to be perfectly politically correct and all those issues. So it was right around the 2010, 2011. I honestly, around 2012, 2013. Yeah, around 2012, 2013 is when I started to make the shift. If there was a better candidate than Romney instead of Obama on the right, I probably would have voted that direction. And then by the time we got to about 2014, 2015, owning my own business for 3 or 4 years and being pro-police and pro-law and order made it a very easy switch for common sense and logic.
We'll have to hear the whole story sometime. I love those. It's like hearing someone's testimony on how'd you become a Christian? How did you go from Obama voter to the other side? Fun stuff. All right, thank you, Anthony Russo, host of the Truth Will Set You Free podcast.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, coming up next, we're gonna keep going through the headlines of the day. The biggest one is Hamas said they would accept this ceasefire deal from Dubai, Egypt, and Israel. And Dubai and Egypt are like, yeah, cool. Where do we sign up? Israel's like, hang on, that's not the terms we sent them this morning. So we'll try and get to the bottom of that next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Here's what we're talking about.
It's a disgrace to the New York state and city court system. 24 campuses now affected by these pro-Palestinian protests.
Trump's lead growing to 9 percentage points.
Former President Trump is slapped with fines connected to his hush money trial in Manhattan.
Young people flying the flags of terrorist organizations.
Stay connected for updates all day.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by Sewell Buick GMC.
Experience Sewell's obsession with customer service at Sewell Buick GMC of Dallas. Test drive a new or certified pre-owned vehicle at Sewell Buick GMC or visit SewellBuickGMC.com.
Shane again with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. We're your best option.
We come to you, find the care you need, keep you informed, and we have the lowest pre-suit fees in the industry. Call me for a free consultation. 214-INJURED. MullenandMullen.com. No recovery, no expense or fees. Been that way since 83.
Hi there, it's Pete Thompson with a question. Is your retirement nest egg prepared for the tax bomb that is about to hit retirees in 2023? Learn more this weekend on DFW Retirement Radio, Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., right here on WBAP.
Whether this is her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct is everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Wayne Starin, D.C. What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually damage to the nerves, most often in the feet, legs, and hands.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we can get some great results. Your nerve damage screening will tell you if you are at risk for serious complications and if you are a candidate for our innovative treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe that there is nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations.
Call 469-751-8262. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 469-751-8262. That's 469-751-8262.
I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Why do some AC companies pay their service techs on commission? ABC News did a sting on AC companies. They rigged a house with a simple broken wire, and 6 different companies tried to sell a woman hundreds of dollars of phony repairs. Why does this happen? Well, when they're getting a 15% commission on the total bill, it just breeds dishonesty and huge repair bills. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we provide comfort to homeowners who don't want to be taken advantage of. Our techs don't work on commission, and we don't use shady sales tactics. If you need a new system, you can combine factory and utility rebates to save over $5,000 on a brand new system that can cut your electric bill in half for as little as $98 a month. So call 2 other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Brought to you by DQ.
It's true. DQ serves up the best treats and eats in Texas. From their famous burgers and baskets to their blizzard treats, they help turn family meals into memories. Stop into your local DQ today. DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Still dealing with construction around the Metroplex, heading towards Rockwall on 30 eastbound. Your right lane is closed down. Expect to see some extra brake lights as you approach. Fort Worth, North Loop A20 westbound. The exit ramp is partially blocked to Saginaw, Maine. Roanoke, you have about 10 minutes of extra stop and go on both sides of 114 as you're approaching Highway 170 Alliance Gateway. And you have about a 10 to 15 minute jam heading out of Gainesville on southbound I-35 because of road work that has you down to just one lane at FM 1306. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
News Talk 820 WBAP is now on FM
at 93.3.
Hey, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Well, we had some breaking news to report to you today. Right before the James Show started, Hamas announced that they will accept a ceasefire. But hang on, don't start the applause yet. It doesn't seem like they are accepting the ceasefire in the terms that were offered. So they're like, yeah, we'll accept the ceasefire. I mean, we'll keep doing what we want to do and whatever. And well, that's not what the offer is. So I'm the whole break, I was trying to find more info on it. And aside from the talking heads before the show, I haven't seen any updates. So I'm bringing in Eric Bushman. Eric, so what do we know beyond that?
So basically, this was something that was put together by Egypt and Qatar, which is a country that I can never figure out how we're supposed to pronounce it, but I believe it's Qatar.
Well, they hosted the World Cup back in November.
And for that about 4-week period of time, I thought I was doing okay. But anyway, so they put this together, and they've kind of been working. And it's interesting because Qatar and Israel don't really have diplomatic ties. So, is Israel going to be behind this? Israel has not responded to this, but Hamas has said, it's fine. I have not seen anything out of this proposal about how many hostages might be released. I haven't seen a lot out of this proposal, but Hamas says it's good for a ceasefire. This is all happening, of course, while Israel keeps giving indications that they're serious about going in this ground invasion of Rafah, a city in southern Gaza that the U.S. does not want them to do with the number of the civilian Palestinians that are there. So the White House was talking about this a little bit ago. John Kirby came out, and anyway, they're really being tight-lipped, and they really want to be careful. Kirby was making the point, listen, it's not that I don't want to answer your questions. It's that we are in a very sensitive time right now. The last thing that he wants to do as a spokesman for the Biden administration is to say something that's going to make someone back out. So,
you don't want to blow up the deal.
Yeah, the White House was being really careful a little bit ago.
Okay, so the only point of contention that I've heard mentioned is the hostages. Is there anything else that they're not meeting up on?
I know that there was someone who spoke, the famous line on the condition of anonymity from Israel, and they had said, this does not meet their framework. So right now, this seems like this is Hamas's deal. Egypt and Qatar came up with an idea. Hamas said, yeah, we like that. A lot of it has not been released yet. What exactly it means, I don't know, but Israel is serious, even with U.S. warning against doing it, that they're going to go into Rafah, which will be very interesting, and maybe that is what's getting Hamas's attention more than anything else.
So do we think that invasion is really imminent and Hamas just did a head fake to stop it?
That could be a possibility. I mean, they've been talking about this Rafah situation for several weeks, and we keep hearing, from the Biden administration, don't do it, don't do that. And they won't even talk about endorsing a limited operation in there. That was one of the big things they were trying to get out of John Kirby today. And but, this is kind of a situation where, I guess the ball's been in Hamas's court for so long, and now they threw it back to Israel's court, and we're just waiting to see what Israel's going to do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. That's exactly what we needed. Eric Bushman, WBAP News anchor, and my best buddy from WeatherCon. All right. On the home front, though, the Palestinian issue still seems to be centered around college campuses. And yes, this is waning a little bit, but there's some issues at some campuses, and I don't know how long it's going to last. Are you really just going to camp out until you find out what your college's endowment is and make sure none of it overlap with defense contractors or businesses with Israeli interests? I mean, are you really going to do that? Because I saw some schools are already having their commencement ceremonies, which is odd because commencement at the end of your college career? Wouldn't it be when it commences? I don't know anything. So some schools are already getting out for the summer. My prediction is these things are going to evaporate because it's not just that the kids are going to go away. It's like, what excuse do you have to camp out on the lawn when you don't even have kids here? You don't even have school's not even in order. You're not disrupting class, and this isn't civil disobedience. Now you're just straight up trespassing with no semblance, with no veil of some higher calling there. Like this is just the voice of the students, and you don't want to keep the students down. So there's still a lot of that going on. I think around here in North Texas, it's like a bunch of other red jurisdictions. Look, it'll go on, but you're not seeing them take over buildings and barricade the place and spray paint everything. And then in the other parts of the country, you're seeing them act much more feral, take over buildings, barricade themselves in, make demands, bring us food, bring us medicine, bring us dental dams. And then the media is going right behind them, just like they love to do, covering for them. This is Trevor Alt from Good Morning America, the ABC News take on UCLA protests.
So far, we haven't seen a lot of physical resistance other than standing their ground. We've seen some of them very distressed, but screaming that they don't have...
All right, remember he said no physical resistance under standing their ground. Other than standing their ground. That's already physical resistance. Standing your ground is physical resistance. So when cops come in and say you're trespassing, you need to get out of here, you don't have permission to be here anymore, we're going to remove you, and they resist, that's physical resistance. So the thing just starts off with a lie. Like, it's unbelievable how bad the reporting is the second any hint of politics enters the chat.
See, so far we haven't seen a lot of physical resistance other than standing their ground. We've seen some of them very distressed but screaming that they don't have weapons, but still not giving up their ground here. If anything, we've seen a few demonstrators who have been throwing bottles, tossing water, and you might actually at some points see some smoke that we believe is from fire extinguishers.
Doesn't that all count as physical resistance? Doesn't that all, I mean, all of it. There's no physical resistance. Well, other than refusing to move, and other than when the police try to move them resisting, other than like physically resisting, there's no physical resistance. Well, other than throwing water bottles, and other than hitting them with fire extinguishers, other than that, though, so peaceful, mostly peaceful. Forget all the stuff on fire behind me and all the property damage and spray paint and graffiti and vandalism and litter and tents and garbage. Other than that, though, peaceful protest.
But mainly, we're watching as these protesters standing their ground after what has been many, many days here on campus. A very intense situation that has escalated significantly just in the past 45 minutes or so. And this is probably one of the most intense clashes that we've seen as these campuses have been playing out all over the country.
Don't you love it when they're telling you how peaceful the protest is behind them and you can hear explosions? Isn't that adorable? You think they would do that for the Tea Party? Remember how hateful and evil and not fit for family viewing the Tea Party was painted? Remember that? Oh, yeah. Anything explode there? Did they even leave litter? Anyway, we'll continue.
We have been watching over those several days as they've basically been preparing for this moment. You'll notice if you look closely that a lot of these demonstrators have hard hats, a lot have gas masks, a lot have eye protective wear too. They have said to me that their plan is never to fight back, that is
helmets, eye goggles, and gas masks. Totally peaceful protest, though. These guys are they're just having a good time. It's the summer of love, y'all. They're out there, they're playing their hand drums, maybe a couple acoustic guitars, singing Kumbaya or Joan Baez or something.
Is not how they go about things, but when I was asking them about it, it was largely about counter-protesters. It could be a different thing with law enforcement involved, although at least from what I've seen on the ground, we haven't.
Yeah, so that's what's going on in UCLA. What's going on down here in the America of Americas, the South? Let's go over to the campus of LSU in Baton Rouge. Oh, their protesters got drowned out by the students showing up in mass.
USA! 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 USA!
Do you hear, like, any explosions? Was there any explosion there? Well, were the pro-American students shouting USA? Were they hitting the policemen with water bottles? Were they spraying them with fire extinguishers? That's weird. Did they have hard helmets on? Did they have eye goggles? Did they have gas masks on? No? Just that other side. But they're mostly peaceful. But look out for these guys. Fun stuff. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
This is Victor McClure, the president of McClure Capital, and for decades, the host of the Common Sense Investing Show. In appreciation to all the listeners, I want to offer you a free copy of my very first book, The Common Sense Investing Guide to Retirement. This is your definitive guide to everything retirement. I put my 30-plus years as a retirement planner into one book. If you're within 20 years of retirement or currently retired, this book is the most informative guide you'll ever own. How do you get the most out of Social Security? How to properly plan for taxes, inflation, health care. How to get the most out of your Medicare. How to allocate your assets before and during retirement. There is a difference. How to avoid the single biggest threat to retirement. Believe it or not, it's not inflation or taxes. Most importantly, how to guarantee you'll achieve the retirement of your dreams and to make sure it lasts for the rest of your life. Call for a free copy at 972-715-2424. That's 972-715-2424. Or go to ilovemyretirement.com.
Here at Massey, we know a thing or two about bugs. We've been keeping pests out of homes for almost 100 years. Our customized pest prevention program keeps bugs outside, in their home, not yours. Because when we prevent pests from getting in, we protect health, home, and family. Make your home a Massey home. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Want to retire in 5 years or less? You can do it. Want to build wealth impacting your family for generations? Del Walmsley and his Lifestyles Unlimited team are educating folks just like you how to become real estate retired, even winning awards like Chad and Lisa.
This property, for you to have done what you've done, won the award, changed it around, done all the rehab, has got to be worth a lot more.
Well, we purchased it for $8.275, and it's worth $19 million now. So
Wait, whoa. That is incredible. I can see why you won an award, and that's great.
With over 33 years teaching real people the roadmap to real estate retiring, we want to meet you. Join Lifestyles Unlimited with this introductory offer. 2 years for $297. The Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter code 2024. Join and learn with Lifestyles Unlimited at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
You might think growing your business is intimidating, complicated, scary. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be. For experts like us, growing your business is exciting, inspiring, empowering. At Bank OZK, we offer competitive financing, flexible terms, and potentially lower down payments. Growing your business starts today. Visit your local Dallas branch or ozk.com/business to learn more. Bank OZK. Greater awaits. Member FDIC. All loans subject to credit and underwriting approval.
Dude, forget the facelift and discover what I really consider the real fountain of youth, soda weight loss.
Yeah, all right.
Just how much younger everybody, including me, looks in their before and after pictures at SodaWeightLoss.com. It's because when you let go of that weight and you get healthy, you just don't look younger. You feel years younger.
Oh, Hercules.
I should know. Soda only employs nutritionists and dietitians who love helping people reach their goals and stay healthy for the rest of their life. You have your own personal nutritionist helping you. Soda's at-home program, which I do, is available wherever you are, at home, work, or on the go. More than 8,700 Google reviews, thousands of before and after amazing pictures. Trying to navigate the grocery store, figure out a menu, on a trip and need advice? They're only a text away. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say with me now, state of the art. Soda, state of the art weight loss.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. When a fellow Texan is hurt in an accident, I take it to heart. Our firm wins Texas-sized settlements for our clients. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Jewish students speak out over how they're being treated. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in North Dallas, eastbound 635. Just before you get to the high 5, 2 right lanes are blocked off, and you're stop and go from the Dallas North Tollway. Looks like about 15 minutes of extra commute time. A disabled vehicle popped up 75 northbound before Renner. They got it cleared pretty quickly, and it never got a chance to build up a major jam, but still use extra caution as you approach. Fort Worth, North Loop 820 westbound, we have construction partially blocking the exit to Saginaw, Maine. And in Cook County, there's construction on southbound I-35. It has you down to 1 lane at FM 1306. That's about a 10 to 15 minute delay heading out of Gainesville. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, mostly cloudy, a high around 85 degrees. It is 82 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mueller, Inc. Jewish students at the University of Texas at Dallas say administrators at their university are listening closer to their concerns surrounding anti-Semitism in the days after a pro-Palestinian encampment was taken down on campus.
Initially, when October 7th first broke out, they were kind of hesitant to help and be there, but they saw the anti-Semitism, rise and our demands, become stricter, and we became more, complaining, as Jews are. they become more cooperative. They really help us now.
Jewish student organizers say the university has worked with them to address their concerns and to put policies in place that will discourage from encampments and hate. Meanwhile, Hamas has agreed to a ceasefire proposal from Egypt and Qatar over the war in Gaza, which has sparked these protests. However, Israel has not formally responded. Your Money News, President Joe Biden says he does not support extending the Trump-era tax cuts. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence has more.
President going around over the past 2 weeks or so, and he's been rallying support for expiring these tax cuts. The president making the point that it's just really going to affect the wealthy and large corporations, when the fact is that when the corporate tax rate will remain at 21%, regardless of when this tax sunsets. That's because that the tax cuts, when they sunset, will affect just about every American. The Tax Foundation goes on to say that if a family with 2 kids making $165,000 a year, well, they're going to pay $2,400 in additional taxes. A married family with 3 kids making $200,000 a year would pay about $7,500 more.
The Biden administration has noted the tax cuts will add trillions to the national debt over a decade. The Dow's up 93 points, NASDAQ up 140, the S&P 500 up by 38. Again, the high today around 85. It is 82 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
We've got the Stars getting ready to host the Avalanche at the American Airlines Center. Mavericks making a short trip to Oklahoma City to face the Thunder. And out on the West Coast, Texas Rangers playing the Oakland A's. It's a busy time here in North Texas when it comes to sports. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Last Friday night, the Mavericks finished off the LA Clippers in their first round NBA playoff series, winning that in 6 games. So now it's off to OKC against a Thunder team that swept New Orleans in 4 straight games, so they're rested and ready to go. First game Tuesday night at 8:30, where at the same time, the Dallas Stars will be playing Colorado on the Frozen Trinity. Stars coming off that huge 2-1 win over the Vegas Golden Knights last night in a Game 7. And then you've got the hottest team in the American League West right now, the Oakland A's. Believe that. Getting ready to play the Texas Rangers in a 4-game series. Rangers coming off a weekend where they took 2 out of 3 in Kansas City to start this 10-game road trip. The Athletics have won 8 of their last 10 games. They're only 2.5 games behind the Seattle Mariners. Rangers are a half a game out of first. That's your Monday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Become a WBAP all-day listener, DFW, and ADL today. And keep connected. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show. Hey, stay with me because coming up in the last hour, I'm going to be going through my review of what happened in the elections over the weekend. And I have some awards to give out and I have some condemnations to give out. But it was something I hit really hard last week a couple times. And so you're going to get some strong opinions about how these bond elections and these propositions. And, I don't really care who you choose to serve on your school board or city council. I mean, I don't know enough about each one of these individual races, but just collectively speaking, the amount of debt that municipalities take on is something that hamstrings them, and they end up regretting later. And when you look at sort of a more macro level, like at a Texas state level, some of the worst are around here in North Texas. Dallas and McKinney, the worst results from Saturday. So stay put for that. But we still have to talk about what's going on in the national news, because on one hand, the election, Trump versus Biden, Trump's in court again. Trump got hit with another slap on the wrist from the judge. This is a contempt. This is another $1,000 fine. And if you keep doing this, I'm going to put you in jail. Now, whether you think it's right or whether you think it's wrong, it'll be interesting to see what happens if he does get put in jail. Will this make him more of a martyr? Will this make him more of a sympathetic figure? Or will this cause some people to doubt? Because now I've seen both CNN and Fox News report on the same poll. They reported differently. CNN said 20% of the Trump voters would reconsider their vote if he's found guilty. The Fox headline on the bottom said 80% of Trump voters would still support him even if found guilty. Is this a clown show? Is this Saturday Night Live and no one told me? Like, hey, James, we just switched the feeds on your TV in the studio. See if you'd notice. But no, this is what it's what it's like every day. And I know you weren't with me here. Very few of you were with me here. But when Trump got into office, it was amazing to watch the media have their little frothing frenzy, because they were telling you there's no way this guy could ever be elected in a million years. And he's losing so bad, and he only has like a 2% chance of winning. Hillary's going to run away with it. And they were all, I don't know if they were genuinely surprised or if this was all performative, but they went nuts so bad for the first 18 months of his presidency. And in fact, it continued for the first 3 years of his presidency. This was the narrative. This could have been a 3-year montage, but it's only the first 18 months until COVID knocked this off. This was the top story in America for 3 straight years was Trump, Russia collusion, and fixing the election in 2016. But the geniuses at Grabien, they gather audio and news clips and stuff for news services. They put together a montage that I will never forget, because I just want to stress, this was just the first 18 months. This continued not only through the 4 years of his presidency, but basically since then, where you've heard all day, every day, constantly, this guy's going to go to jail. And it was always not like, well, I think maybe we have some evidence that could lead us there. There was always a bombshell, and the walls were always closing in, and there's no way he's not going to get arrested. He's going to be in prison, and they've been telling you this now. It was 2024. They've been telling you this since 2016. So for 8 straight years, you could just extrapolate. This is just from the first 18 months of his presidency. It has been this for 8 straight years. And at some point, do you ever think, well, maybe I'm wrong? Maybe I've been saying this for 8 years and he's not going to go to jail anytime soon.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency. Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over.
Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
There's the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end. It reminds me a lot of the last days of Nixon.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The wall's closing in.
The wall's closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
This is unbelievable. This is remarkable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
His presidency is crippled.
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed. We begin with the bombshell.
The beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
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 In fact, if this were a football game, we're in the third quarter. May even be the beginning of the end.
We begin tonight with the bombshell. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell. This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
I do not think the president will serve out his term. Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way. No how.
Breaking news, absolute bombshell.
I think Donald Trump is in trouble.
Donald Trump is not. He's done. And it's over.
It's over.
The wall's closing in.
The wall's closing in.
This is going to be the Achilles heel.
Breaking news tonight, I expect Trump to depart. This week will be the watershed week. Trump is in big trouble.
Trump's in a lot of trouble.
It's a sign of a terrified old man who feels the walls closing in.
The walls are increasingly closing in on him. Tonight, the walls
are closing in.
Today changed everything. This is the beginning of the end.
Today, the biggest tipping point for the Trump administration.
What a historic day. The bombshells, they fell.
It's entropy and it's crumbling internally.
He's underwater. He feels
the walls closing in. Could his testimony be a turning point?
We may be at a tipping point.
It's the beginning of
the end.
The beginning
of the end.
Another bombshell.
Bombshell. Bombshell. Bombshell. Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell. This is a bombshell. It is a bombshell.
I am beginning to resent the word bombshell.
Oh my God, that is just the best. That's better than any montage I've made. That's from Grabien. How amazing is that? So if you're worried about, oh my goodness, they keep saying that he's gonna go to jail. Yeah, they've been saying that for 8 straight years. In fact, the newest clip from that montage was from summer of 2018. And seeing as how it's almost summer of 2024, all of those predictions have been wrong for at least 6 years. Can you get anything else that wrong? Unless you're like a sports commentator, like the guys that make predictions, like, I think the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Or maybe the weatherman. He's allowed to be wrong quite a bit. Sure. But if your football coach was that failed, at the high school level, you would run them out of town. All of those people still have a job. All of those people are, or most of them, are still in the same position they were in when they made that erroneous prediction. You heard Joe Scarborough. You heard Mika Brzezinski. You heard Rachel Maddow. You heard all these people. And they were all wrong then. What makes you think they're right now? Look, on a long enough time scale, maybe they will be right. But you're already 6 years behind schedule, so I think we can go ahead and declare all those predictions gone. He did serve out his first term. He did not resign. The walls were not closing in. There were not a bunch of people that were about to come put him in cuffs. So for those of you who get disheartened, I hope that brought you a little bit of joy. 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. It's the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Tuesday at 6:47, it's National Nurses Week, how to cure the shortage in staffing.
And the latest on the Trump trial and his possible VP pick.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Mary, and Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports. And Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Tuesday's WBAP Morning News 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This report is brought to you by the On-Time Experts Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Hi there, it's consumer advocate Pete Thompson. If you've been told you need a new air conditioning system, don't get ripped off. Call the On-Time Experts for a free second opinion and learn the truth about your current system. TheOnTimeExperts.com. That's TheOnTimeExperts.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could repair and restore damaged tissue. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Used by professional athletes like Emmett Smith, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 469-557-5386. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 469-557-5386. That number again is 469-557-5386.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
The elites want more control through digital currencies in a cashless society. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I believe gold is the answer to safeguard your wealth, especially if you own your gold inside of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, so text SHELTER to the number 989898 to claim your free info kit today.
Message and data rates may apply.
In the fast-paced rhythm of life, where demands can be relentless and time is precious, prioritizing your well-being can be hard. Not to worry, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements are convenient and easy to add to any schedule. Paired with eating more fresh produce, regular exercise, and a positive mindset, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements can help you keep your rhythm. Whether it be excelling in your day-to-day or just living in the moment, start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, the Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Let's hear another success story. This one comes to us from Stacker Derek.
You guys are the best, and it's because of you I now understand retirement accounts, money in general, and how poorly the guests are treated when they show up. I really don't know where I would be without you. Thank you for $1,500, and here's to another $1,500 if Doug can survive that long without pay.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Men's Edge Medical is in the heart of Dallas at Elfin Preston and so easy to get to. Call Raul or one of the other fantastic staff members at Men's Edge today for a confidential, safe, and comfortable appointment. Call 972-996-0900.
Still dealing with a crash in North Dallas on eastbound 635. Just before 75, it's taking up 2 right lanes, causing about a 20-minute delay back from the Dallas North Tollway. We had a new crash pop up in Richardson, 75 northbound, approaching Renner Road. It's already been moved over to the right shoulder. You have some road debris in Farmers Branch affecting the 2 left lanes of southbound 35E at Valwood. You have a jam built up here from Beltline. That's going to be about 3 to 5 minutes of extra commute time. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. It is an election year, so we've got to cover a few things more stridently than we would under the other 3 years of this cycle. But when President Biden says that he's looking at letting the Trump tax cuts expire without any sort of intervention, this should be a big deal. And it should be a big deal, both for the actual math and how it affects you, but also politically. And unfortunately, yeah, that shouldn't matter on what your taxes are. But we're far beyond that. We already know this whole tax/politics is a game that feeds off each other. But let's just go ahead and take it face value. This is a dangerous move. Like, if you're a politician, why would you even say that? Why would you even say that? Yeah, we're going to let the tax cuts expire and we're going to raise your taxes. Because this is going to happen at the end of what, next year? So, dude, just lie. Just say, no, look, we have no plans of letting them expire. If Congress wants to extend them, I'd certainly sign it. That's what he should. I mean, I don't know. They don't listen to me, though. Not that they should. But no one wants their taxes to go up. Taxes going up on you affects your vote. Taxes going up on other people, not so much. So this is going to have to be sold as, no, we're not raising your taxes. Well, then who are you raising taxes on? The evil 1%ers? Yeah, the evil 1%ers who take the standard deduction? I mean, other than that, they got a 2% tax break. Ooh, they're going to get 2%. Can't let them have that. But really, I mean, who takes the standard deduction around here? I forgot what the number was at last count, but it's like 80% of tax filers, maybe 90% of tax filers. So all of those people are going to get a tax hike. But at least you're going to hike taxes on those evil corporations. No, actually, if you don't do anything, the personal income tax sunsets, but the corporate tax was permanent. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to let the corporations keep their tax cut, but he's going to let yours go up. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know who the heck is advising him. He doesn't have to say anything on this. If he's asked the question, just say, no, there's no plans. I don't know. Did you tell me? That's Congress's job. They put something on my desk, ask me about that. But I'm not going to answer some sort of weird hypothetical. I don't want taxes to go up, but that's what he did. That's where he's at. That's what he's doing. I find that super bizarre. And then another bad sign is, do you know Afro Man? Because I Got High? He has like 2 other songs that you would know, Colt 45, and I forgot the other one. But somehow, this dude did an anti-Hunter Biden song, or an anti-Biden song. It's called Hunter Got High. And I'm scratching my head because we've seen a strange defection from the stereotype voting patterns from the hip hop community of people who endorsed Trump. Like last time around, or either in 2016 or 2020, he was endorsed by like Lil Wayne and 50 Cent. Of course, Kanye ran around in a MAGA hat for a while. And there's a steady stream of people in the hip hop community who are strangely red. Check out this. Now, I had to beep it for a couple of times, so don't worry, Sean, over there with the dump button. But this is Afroman. Not someone making fun of Afroman or doing an Afroman voice. This is him redoing his own song.
He was gonna get his laptop fixed, but Hunter got high. He wasn't gonna show all them pics, but Hunter got high. He should've let Hillary bleach his whole hard drive. Yeah, Hunter got high. Hunter got high. Hunter got high.
Now check this out. This isn't just base insults. There's like research.
He wasn't gonna mess with the hoes, but Hunter got high.
The Ukrainian and Russian.
He was gonna take them all out on the boat, but Hunter got high. He's the smartest man Joe ever knew in his life. Yeah, till Hunter got high. Hunter got high.
It's funny because Hunter really did get high, and we saw the videos, right? That's funny.
He was gonna go visit his dad, but Hunter got high. He thought he had a secret stash, but Hunter got high. The White House got shut down. We all know why. Yeah, Hunter got high.
Hunter left his bag of cocaine in the White House. We all know that. They pretend like, well, we'll never get to the bottom of this mystery. Afroman knows.
Hunter got high. Now he gets $500,000 and up. Damn, that's high. That's high to the Biden never used to start with DUI. Yeah, till Hunter got high. Hunter got high. Hunter got high.
And apparently, Afroman has a bone to pick because that song goes on for another 2 minutes. There's like 8 verses to that. And he goes through some of the other scandals that he was in. And then the last verse is about when Afroman had his house raided and they ate his lemon cake and took a bunch of his money and stuff. So, yeah, Afroman, not on the Biden bus. Thought you'd enjoy that update from the political world. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at what's going on with this situation with maybe Hamas has accepted a ceasefire agreement. So details coming up on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Bob Lavelle's with us from Home Marketing Services. Bob Lavelle does not have a song written about him by Afroman, but you do such a good job selling houses. If he came down here and got one from you, I bet you get a song.
I bet he already has a nice house or two. You know why?
Because he got high?
No, because the taxes that are going to be going up. The biggest thing about having a house right now is the tax break. He has not taken that away. And you've got 4 parts that make up that house payment: your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance. 3 of those 4 things, the 3 biggest, are a write-off. And so for people that are getting hit on the taxes, for a lot of them, that's what they're doing. They're buying homes to do it. I had a CPA that was in a while back, and his rents kept going up, and he finally realized, he gets no equity, no tax break, and he was making too much money, a single guy. So there were pictures of him down at the IRS saying, "We love this guy." So when you make a lot of money, you got a lot of, things paid for by your own company. You know what? That tax break you get with owning a home is still one of the biggies out there.
All right, call Bob Lavelle. Make it happen for you. 972-392-9595. That's 972-392-9595. He's got the website blessyourheart.com or 972-392-9595. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, James.
Joint pain. Do those 2 little words have you feeling like you're condemned to a life sentence of suffering? Are they stealing your sleep and robbing you of life's little moments? What if there was a way to break free from your joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime? A way that could repair and restore damaged tissue, regain your mobility, and finally get lasting relief. Introducing QC Kinetics, the regenerative therapy used by professional athletes and available to the public right now. To find out if you're a candidate, call now for a free consultation. 469-629-2450.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
Join the growing crowd of satisfied customers who have set themselves free from joint pain. What are you waiting for? For a free consultation, call now. 469-629-2450. 469-629-2450.
Guys, do you have lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido? These symptoms could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, their medical providers specialize in customized testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you'll get your results back at your first visit. To learn more and to book your appointment online, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Locations in Prosper, McKinney, and Walnut Hill near North Park Mall.
Hey, Mike Singletary. Do you know Baker Brothers is celebrating its 80th anniversary?
No, but I do now. Congrats, Jimmy.
Thanks. What were you doing back in 1945?
Hello, I wasn't born yet. I was still a glimmer in my dad's eye. Come on, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, in 1945 at Baker Brothers Plumbing, Air, and Electric, we were fixing all kinds of things, like
plumbing, drains, and water heaters. Yeah.
Yeah! Wow, you're good, Mike Singletary.
That's what they say, Jimmy.
This is Jimmy Dell, president of Baker Brothers Plumbing, Air, and Electric. If you need your AC repaired or replaced, go to callbakernow.com and schedule now. We have over 18,000 five-star reviews and offer 100% satisfaction guarantee.
For great service, leave it to the pros at Baker Brothers. Call them today.
Thanks, Mike Singletary.
Baker Brothers.
Great service.
This is Ernie Brown here with Jeff Jr., owner of Trajan Wealth, talking about 401ks. I've always heard 401ks were great, but you're telling me something different.
Well, 401ks are great when you're employed there. However, if you're no longer employed, you probably don't want to keep that 401k with your old employer, and you probably don't want to roll that old 401k into your new employer's plan.
Really? Why is that?
Well, most 401ks have limited investment options and can cost you thousands of dollars more in fees. And that's true even if you roll it over into your new employer's 401k. You also lose a lot of control by leaving your 401k with your old employer. If the company sells or merges, they often freeze it.
That's a great insight. If you have a 401k with an old employer, stop what you're doing and call Trajan Wealth. 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The State Department reaction to a proposed ceasefire agreed to by Hamas. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have about a 15 to 20 minute delay through North Dallas on eastbound 635 because of a crash just before 75 blocking two right lanes. You're stop and go back from the Dallas North Tollway. Still have a wreck in Richardson, 75 northbound approaching Rinner Road. It's just over on the right shoulder, so just a little extra caution as you approach that one. And in Farmers Branch, there's about a 5 to 10 minute jam on southbound 35E because of road debris at Valwood in the two left lanes. You expect to see extra brake lights back around Sandy Lake. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
Widely scattered strong storms are possible towards early this evening, especially north of town. Afternoon high up to 83. Any storm that does get started could have gusty winds and some large hail. Tonight's low 72. Some storms early, a few of which could certainly be severe. This weather report sponsored by Navage. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
83 degrees in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by On Time Experts Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Hamas says it's agreed to a ceasefire proposal, though the details of what it's agreed to have not been made public. Israel had previously sent a proposal that would have seen the release of hostages and a ceasefire in the region. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller did not confirm whether Hamas agreed to a similar deal, but reiterated the United States' call for the release of hostages in Gaza.
There has been a significant offer on the table. The ball has been in Hamas's court. We have made clear that they should accept that offer, that Israel made significant compromises, showed that they wanted to reach an agreement that would lead to the release of hostages, that would bring an immediate ceasefire.
This news coming the same day Israel ordered evacuations from Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah, seemingly in preparation for a large military operation. North Texas families may be dealing with tough conversations on today's one-year anniversary of the Allen mass shooting.
8 innocent victims were gunned down at the Allen Premium Outlets. 3 of them were children. Now parents may be confronted with questions and concerns from kids who may be hearing about the tragedy once again. Tammy Mahan is CEO of Collin County's mental health authority LifePath Systems and advises starting with these questions.
What are they seeing? What are they hearing? How does that make them feel?
She says it's best to have the talk ahead of a citywide moment of silence today at 3:36 p.m. when the first shots rang out. Nicole Osei, WBAP News.
Your Money News, former Starbucks CEO and founder Howard Schultz says the company's leaders should spend more time in stores and focus on coffee drinks as they work to turn around flagging sales. In a LinkedIn post published over the weekend, Schultz said many people had reached out to him after Starbucks reported weaker than expected quarterly sales and earnings last week. The Dow closing up 177 points, NASDAQ up 193, the S&P 500 up by 53. Again, the high today in the mid-80s. It is 83 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Highland Village. Highland Village, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Will Height Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to willheightwins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. Well, the hot, big story of the day, we've been trying to follow it because it just popped off right before the James Show started. And every break, me and Eric Bushman go digging through the browser tabs, and actually Sean helped me out with the article earlier, trying to figure out what's going on because we heard word that Hamas and Israel may have reached a ceasefire agreement, but we're not 100% sure about that. But what we do know is Israel has been urging Palestinians to evacuate Rafah and their mass troops on the border, and we've kind of been expecting an invasion for a couple weeks now. Robert Greenway from the Heritage Foundation, what do we know about this right now at 3:05?
Well, what it looks as though has occurred is that the Hamas has agreed to a U.S. and Qatari and Hamas negotiated document that Israel hasn't seen, much less approved, in order to delay what looks like an imminent Israeli operation.
Wait, hang on. I hate to be a correctorson because I hate those people. Yeah. But you said the U.S. was in there. I only heard it was Egypt, Qatar, and Hamas.
Yeah, well, what I've been told is that the U.S. is aware of it and that the U.S. is familiar with the contents of it. Whether they have the actual document or not may or may not be accurate, but they're familiar with the contents of it.
Okay. And you're saying Israel hasn't seen it?
That's my understanding, and that's what Israel's asserted publicly at this point.
So how is Hamas even able to get the headline out there that, hey, we've agreed to a ceasefire deal, and the other side hadn't even seen it? Agreed with who? Themselves?
Yes, exactly right. That's the territory we're in. They know their back's against the wall, and the only allies they have in this are the media and, in many cases, the Biden administration and other governments in the region, Qatar specifically. So I think what we're seeing here is them at a last-ditch effort to sort of throw a wrench in Israel's plan by agreeing with a plan that only they've negotiated with themselves.
Right, and it also gives, you're right, because if you have the media on your side, then if Israel does go through with it, you can say, we offered a ceasefire, and what did Israel do? They came through and started killing babies.
Well, that's exactly what's happened. So the media has already gone out and said that, that Hamas has accepted the ceasefire agreement with itself, so that's already mission accomplished.
Oh, man, I hate being so cynical, but it's proven me right so many times in the past. What's Israel supposed to do about this? Can they just come out and say, bro, they're lying, we didn't agree to anything?
They don't have a choice. And yes, I think that's exactly what's likely to happen, that they never saw the document, they've agreed to nothing, nor could they. The operation is imminent because they have no choice. They've got to destroy Hamas, and Hamas has to ensure its survival. And those aren't reconcilable positions. And the United States ought to be encouraging Israel to complete this operation and provide this assistance to the civilian population. But it can't turn this back, and it can't certainly stop it. It's just not acceptable to Israel, nor should it be to the United States.
Has the outside world seen the agreement?
No, not to my knowledge. And that would be unusual.
What, they can't just float a PDF on Twitter?
They could, but they don't. I mean, that's why we haven't seen previous evolutions of it. It's unlikely that's likely to take place. I doubt it.
I think the biggest issue of contention, Israel would probably take a wide swath of air quote deals as long as they get a bunch of their hostages back. Do you think that's in the cards?
No. One, because it's still an open question as to how many remain alive and in custody. And second, how many Palestinians would have to be released that are in Israeli custody, already tried and convicted of terrorism and other crimes. But more to the point, that's really not in Hamas's interest, right? They can't trade enough hostages to prevent Israel from completing the operation and destroying the organization. And that's the rub. And so eventually we got down to the point where these differences are just not reconcilable.
What do you think happens next, Robert?
An invasion of Rafah, and then more to the point, a potential invasion in southern Lebanon if the escalation continues there. And that will be much more significant in terms of the disturbance and probability of escalation than what we're seeing in Gaza.
Well, Robert, tell me about that, because the only thing I've heard coming out of southern Lebanon is some unaimed floating rockets every once in a while.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's displaced some 80,000 Israeli civilians now for several months, and that's an unsustainable position. And as long as that continues, Israel is going to be forced to confront the possibility of destroying the source of all of these rockets. And they don't want to do it, I think, until they've completed operations in Gaza. And I suspect that their preference is to sequence it and do it as soon as they're done in Rafah.
Do we know anything on an update of the floating pier? I think that's one of the worst ideas of this whole conflict, is that we're going to give adrenaline shots to the people under siege. That only, to me, it seems like it just prolongs the suffering. Are they really doing the dock?
So as far as I understand, it is up and it is operational. And so it's able to facilitate the movement of logistics and material. And you're right, on its surface, it doesn't seem like a good use of U.S. taxpayer resources, nor does it seem like acceptable risk for U.S. service members in a combat zone. And so, again, I think it was done to satisfy a domestic political constituency for the Biden administration. But it is a huge risk. And again, we also, Congress just authorized some $9 billion for humanitarian relief and assistance and the migration and refugee control. And all of that money is going to support this.
Well, hey, Biden might still win Michigan.
I'm not sure. And the issue is a lot more complicated than it is just to satisfy the Hamas constituency. There's also a lot of unemployed people up there. And I think that there's no solution, no political solution for that either. And that's a result of the policies to pursue, bad energy policies, bad EV policies. And all that's put a lot of people out of work.
Is Syria behaving in all this?
Well, you'd have to define behaving. In the end, they haven't been I think the end of the day, they have been relatively quiet since the strike in Damascus, but the Iranian infrastructure in Syria still remains. And as long as it is, Israel will still have to take occasional strikes into it. But at this point, it is quieted down, but for the moment.
What is that part there where they love to lob the rockets? Is that the Golan Heights? Is that what we're talking about?
You mean as far as the receiving end or the launching end of rockets?
The receiving end.
No, it is occasionally because they don't recognize Israeli sovereignty over it, which the U.S. does. But more importantly, it's been launched into more broadly as northern Israel territory, so not limited to the Golan Heights.
Any sign that maybe Hamas could run out of rockets anytime soon?
Well, unfortunately, no. And as long as supplies continue to get moved into the area, one can only assume that not all the supplies, are humanitarian as advertised. And they just launched rockets, just in the last 24 hours. So as long as they control territory, it seems as they'll have the ability to launch rockets and drones.
How are they getting all these rockets if they're launching them almost every day? From reports is what I hear from people on the ground, because people get on Twitter and Facebook and they'll tell you where are they getting all these? Are they getting them from Iran? Are they getting them through tunnels? Like, how are they getting in there? I thought this was an open air prison, Robert.
Yeah, it's a great question. And in the end, look, as long as supplies and material make their way into Gaza, you can assume that there's going to be some lethal aid as part of it. There's no other explanation. They would have run out of their inventory by now.
Robert Greenway, Heritage Foundation, thank you very much for your insight. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Heritage Foundation. They do a lot of good work over there. Coming up next, there was some presidential medals of honor given out over the weekend, and the list is, I mean, some of it's worthy, some of it we'll roll our eyes at it together. Coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
So what will we talk about in the week ahead?
What he needs to be doing is being the commander-in-chief.
The Cade utility pole broke, causing power lines to fall on dry grass in the Texas Panhandle.
Taxes, when you raise them, slow growth.
Vanquish the radicals and take back our campuses.
52 weeks a year. We've got you covered.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
And then...
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
Guys love to sit around talking about sports, about cars, about hunting. But you know what guys hate to talk about? You know the answer, but I'll say it out loud. They hate to talk about their sexual struggles. And that's why I want to talk to you about Fort Worth Concierge. Lambo here. I want you to schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Cowan. He's developed his own protocol using Gainswave. Gainswave uses high-frequency, low-intensity sound waves to treat your problem. Get all the details by clicking on FWCplus.com. That's FWCplus.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. And Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you get customized care from testosterone specialists. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com. Locations in Prosper, McKinney, and Walnut Hill near North Park Mall.
Hey, Red Mountain Weight Loss now has semaglutide in stock and ready to ship today, available in either injection form or a daily tablet. You could lose up to 15 pounds just this month. Plus, you get the support of their licensed medical team, helping you with meal plans to speed your progress and solutions to prevent side effects or muscle loss, and all for less than half the price of Ozempic. Trust the leader in medical weight loss with over 30 years experience. They've helped over 1 million people lose weight, and they can help you too. Lose weight and look great just in time for summer with semaglutide from RedMountainWeightLoss.com.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And even cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
We had a couple of issues clear up in Dallas County. A crash was moved off of eastbound 635 just before 75. Still have about 5 to 10 minutes of extra commute back from the Dallas North Tollway. And on southbound 35E at Valwood, they cleaned up some road debris. Still have about a 10-minute jam there from around Sandy Lake. Congestion starting to build up behind some construction heading toward Rockwall 30 eastbound has the right lane closed at Dalrock. You're looking at another 5 to 10 minute jam here. Traffic stacking up after the Bush Turnpike. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by Sewell BMW.
Your next Sewell could be a BMW. Test drive a new or certified pre-owned vehicle and experience Sewell's obsession with customer service at Sewell BMW of Grapevine or Sewell BMW of Plano today.
DFW's most listened to news, traffic, and weather station.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Well, some Americans were honored over the weekend. President Biden had some Presidential Medal of Freedom recipients in a ceremony at the White House, and it is the nation's highest civilian honor. The only way you can get a higher honor is to do something in the military, I suppose, but I don't know. These things always seem kind of weird because we're not supposed to have like nobilities and titles, and no one's a sir and no one's a knight and no one's a madam or a dame or anything. But still, there's nothing wrong with admiring people and you know, putting a medal around the neck of someone who's done something great. And some of these are great. Some of these, like, I didn't know who some of these people were, so I went and looked them up. One of the recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, some guy named Gregory J. Boyle. Who is he? He's actually Father Boyle, a Catholic priest who started some thing called Homeboy Industries, which fights gang violence and helps rehabilitate young men in Los Angeles. And apparently he's had a big success, and people from all political persuasions and walks of life, if you go look him up, I hadn't seen where he said anything horrible or done anything incredibly political even. So that beautiful. I think that's a great use of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. A guy got highlighted I would not have otherwise heard about. Kind of perfect. So kudos to Biden or whoever made that choice on that. But you go through the rest of this list, and it gets a little more sketchy after that. And I don't want to say all of them, but like Katie Ledecky, the most decorated female swimmer in American history. Wow. She swam really fast. Won 7 Olympic gold medals. Like, Presidential Medal of Freedom is, I mean, good for her, and she could probably swim faster than me. I'm glad she represented us so well in the Olympics, but okay, that didn't seem nearly as important as the guy that's rehabilitating the gangbangers in one of the worst neighborhoods in the Western world. Nancy Pelosi. Okay, straight up political there. Not surprised. You already know all the negatives about her. I don't have to add to it. You already know. But let's look at this one. Al Gore. Now, Al Gore, you know him as the former vice president. He was also a member of the House of Representatives before that, senator before that. But he's also transformed in his post-political life. He is no longer, running for office. He is now sort of the face, the spokesman, the leader of the climate change movement. He even got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. All right, so let's dive into Al Gore, because it's one thing to have, politically favorable ones. Like I rolled my eyes when Donald Trump gave Rush Limbaugh a Presidential Medal of Freedom. Not that, I love Rush Limbaugh. I've listened to him for 30 years. He's great. He's one of my favorite talk shows, probably my second favorite talk show host of all time. But Presidential Medal of Freedom for doing this? Like, see what I'm doing here? I didn't change anybody's life like this father was doing in Los Angeles. I don't know. It just, anytime it's politically self-serving like that, I kind of cringe. So I'm not just cringing because it's Democrats. I just cringe because it's political. But Al Gore is one of the worst. I mean, this guy is what I was saying when I played the bombshell montage earlier. If you were here, I played a montage of a bunch of people predicting Trump wouldn't end his first term in office. And that's one thing that makes me roll my eyes. You lose credibility when you make a prediction and it doesn't come true. And if you do that over and over and over and over, I start to resent you. And I don't mean you, the guy listening. I mean these people on TV, these people that said, oh, Jussie Smollett got beat up by a hate crime, or Nicholas Sandmann is doing a hate crime, or inflation's transitory. Just half these stories that you hear in the news every day turn out to be wrong. And Al Gore is one of the worst, because this climate thing isn't a neutral effect on your life. This has affected everything from your plastic straws to your light bulbs to how much your car weighs to it's the reason why your bumper's made of fiberglass and cracks anytime you bump into anything, whereas the bumper from your dad's car is probably still in perfect condition in a junkyard somewhere because it was made out of solid steel. Well, let's go through Gore, because I don't beat up on Gore personally. In fact, he's one of those people that's probably a nice guy. I mean, he has a Southern accent and he seems nice enough. And I don't know. But all these predictions, I can't forget in his movie how many of those predictions he's made. If we have crossed the timeline for that prediction, it's been proven wrong. Every single one. Al Gore came out and he said in his movie Inconvenient Truth that you see this big satellite picture of Katrina? We're going to have more of these from now on. We're going to have more frequent and more powerful hurricanes. And from the second he said that, we didn't have a major hurricane, that means category 3 or above, make landfall for like the next 12 years, which is the longest in history, going back to the Stegosaurus, that we can find a hurricane didn't hit the American mainland that was a category 3 or bigger. It was the craziest thing how wrong that prediction was. And it seemed like he said it and it was fact and everyone accepted it. So we got to make your straws out of things that dissolve now. But let me give you a few more. This is him also 2006.
This is happening in Glacier National Park. I climbed to the top of this in 1998 with one of my daughters. Within 15 years, this will be the park formerly known as Glacier.
That was a prediction. They even had a sign at Glacier National Park in Montana that says, according to scientists, this will all be gone in 2020. You know what they did in 2020? Change the sign. That's it. But that's not the only prediction he got wrong. Here he is again. This is in 2008, talking about polar ice cap's going to be gone.
Many scientists predict shockingly that the entire North Polar ice cap may be completely gone during summer months during the first term of the next president.
Who are those scientists and do they still have jobs? They should all be fired. They are all wrong. They are all liars. If your football coach did this bad of a job, he would be fired. If this guy was working at McDonald's and he got his orders wrong as often as he got climate change predictions wrong, he would be fired. This level of being wrong, constantly being wrong, would not be accepted at Best Buy if you were an employee there. Here he is again. Another wrong prediction. This one's also 2006.
Starting in 1970, there was a precipitous drop-off in the amount and extent and thickness of the Arctic ice cap. It has diminished by 40% in 40 years. And there are now 2 major studies showing that within the next 50 to 70 years, in summertime, it will be completely gone.
Yeah, well, it's not gone, and it ain't going away either. Listen, at some point, you have to think, are these the same experts that told us masks work? Are these the same experts that said we should shut our kids out of school for 2 years? Are these the same experts that prevented us from going to church in clear violation of the First Amendment and the whole reason the Pilgrims came here in the first place, so we go to church whenever we want to? I mean, is there anything less American than that? And it's all based on these lies? Are these the same experts that say men can have a baby? Are these the same experts that said inflation is transitory? Are these the same experts right now? And today, just look at today's headlines. Are these the same experts that are saying, well, we've got to let the tax cuts expire or it's going to add $10 trillion to the deficit? What prediction have they got right? Why would we believe they're right now when they get all of these wrong? They can't even get one mountain right.
This is Mount Kilimanjaro more than 30 years ago and more recently. And a friend of mine just came back from Kilimanjaro with a picture he took a couple months ago. Another friend, Lonnie Thompson, studies glaciers. Here's Lonnie with a last sliver of one of the once mighty glaciers. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro.
Okay, well, it's been 2 decades and it still has snow. You're wrong. All of your theses are wrong when it comes to climate change. This is all political lies, and you are a clown, a swindler that is using this fear, just throwing fear out there in order to what? Gather more power and resources in the hands of politicians across the world? Noble ambition you got there, sir. Real quick, let me take this call. Philip and Temple, you're on the James Show. What do you think about that?
I was just commenting when you brought up Gore. Thank you. I'm enjoying your show, by the way. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 different honorary
doctorates is what he was going to say before his phone dropped out. Dude, that lets you know what a clown college academia is. Doctorates mean nothing to me. Doctorates mean nothing to most people out there. In fact, I don't want to say it's sad. It just is what it is. Whenever you come up with all these people that have PhDs and then you talk to them and half of them you realize they're not smart. They just have a PhD. It means nothing anymore. You've diminished the title. It used to mean something. It used to mean you studied. You probably know some things that I don't that are useful. Now it means you probably can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. All right, coming up next, we're going to play Dead or Alive. We're going to get someone's getting a pair of tickets to a Ranger game, and it's not just tickets to the Ranger game. You're going to be in the 100, so you're going to be in the infield on the lower deck, and you get parking passes. So it's really just a Rangers night out. We're playing Dead or Alive next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Are you a nonprofit organization making a difference in your community? Do you dream of expanding your impact, but the lack of space to do it? Hal J. here for Mueller Steel Buildings and Metal Roofing, but this time I'm talking to you about Mueller's Helping Hand. And once again this year, they're excited to announce Mueller's Helping Hand now accepting applications for the prestigious giveaway. That's right, one deserving nonprofit will be awarded a whopping 4,000 square foot building. Whether you're running a food bank, an after-school program, a shelter for those in need, this building could be a game changer for your organization. But Mueller's Helping Hand isn't looking for just any nonprofit. They're searching for those unsung heroes who go above and beyond to serve their communities. Applications must be received by May the 24th. Visit the website MuellerInc.com. That's Mueller, I-N-C, MuellerInc.com. Tell them Hal J. sent you.
The Wilhite Law Firm handles accident cases differently. If you're injured, we'll drive to your home. We'll return every call and keep you updated. We win big for our clients. Texas-sized settlements big. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
Oh, it's been actually really good. I'm 81 years old. I'm a retired nurse, and I have found, I've taken this for about 5 years, I do feel better. At first, there wasn't a drastic change, but I found it really has made, a difference in my lifestyle. It does improve our quality of life.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
I'm a pilot, martial artist, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet.
Do you want to be more active and start exercising but can't because you know you are going to have pain or discomfort? Listen to Randy and his real experience at the Good Feet store.
When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better, and Good Feet has saved the day.
We want to help you get back to doing the things you love. Find the closest Good Feet store to you at goodfeet.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more.
There is no appointment necessary. Just stop in and learn how Good Feet can help you find relief with no shots, no medication, and no surgery.
You might think growing your business is intimidating, complicated, scary. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be. For experts like us, growing your business is exciting, inspiring, empowering. At Bank OZK, we offer competitive financing, flexible terms, and potentially lower down payments. Growing your business starts today. Visit your local Dallas branch or ozk.com/business to learn more. Bank OZK. Greater awaits. Member FDIC. All loans subject to credit and underwriting approval.
It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits. May 17th to 19th. 14 acres of the latest guns and gear. It's a freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. Members get in free. Non-members join at the door for $10. Visit nraam.org for more information.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Jewish students speak out on how they're being treated on North Texas campuses. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in Fort Worth on southbound 35W. It's blocking the right lane at Rippey Street, causing about a 10 to 15 minute jam back from Rosedale. There's a new disabled vehicle in Dallas, partially blocking the exit from southbound 35E to Woodall Rogers. Some extra traffic stacking up in downtown. And heading toward Rockwall, still have about a 10-minute jam on eastbound I-30. Construction has your right lane closed at Dalrock. You're moving slow from just after the Bush Turnpike. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones. I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy today, a high in the mid-80s. It is 83 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. As Hamas announces they like a ceasefire deal proposed by the Egyptian and Qatari governments, Jewish students at the University of North Texas in Denton are not happy with the way university leaders have responded to pro-Palestinian demonstrations on that campus.
So unfortunately, I've had a very negative experience with my university. They've praised the other side a lot and called them peaceful and went out of their way to support them, and they've condemned me.
The university has not met demands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators, but insist peaceful protests are allowed. Some Jewish students at UNT say they feel harassed or degraded. Meanwhile, that ceasefire accepted by Hamas is being called far from Israel's requirements in new language this afternoon from Israel. The FAA is opening a new investigation into embattled aviation giant Boeing after the company admitted it may not have completed required inspections. The FAA told Fox Business they're investigating whether Boeing completed inspections and even falsified aircraft records. Your Money News: confidence in President Joe Biden's economic leadership is historically low.
The Biden administration is trying to sort of combat that. They're sending administration officials to battleground states, focusing specifically on economic messaging because, as we've reported time and again, the economy is the top issue for so many voters, and this is the latest poll from Gallup. It shows 46% of Americans say they have a great deal or fair amount of confidence in Trump to do the right thing for the economy. Gallup says confidence in Biden on the economy at 38% is among the lowest it's measured for any president since 2001.
That's Fox Business reporter Grady Trimble reporting. The Dow closed up 177 points, NASDAQ up 193, the S&P 500 up by 53. Again, the high today in the mid-80s. It is 83 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Well, the kid gets it done in a Game 7 against the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. The kid, of course, is 20-year-old star sensation Wyatt Johnston, who scored his series-high fourth goal against Vegas. Radek Vaska scored the other in a 2-1 win. So now it's on to round 2 of the National Hockey League playoffs, where Dallas will be on home ice Tuesday and Thursday against the Colorado Avalanche, where once again you're going to have to stay up late to watch or listen to it on radio on our sports station, The Ticket. Puck drops at 8:30 for the first couple of games, where at the same time you've got the Mavericks up in Oklahoma City. The Thunder with the home court advantage at Paycom Center in OKC. They were able to sweep New Orleans in 4 games. They haven't played since last Monday. So they're going to be rested and ready for this Mavericks team that had to go 6 games against the LA Clippers. Finally, Canadian Taylor Pendrith wins the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson and McKinney. Pros won't be back here in North Texas until later in the month, with the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, May 23rd through the 26th. That's your Monday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
News at the top and bottom of each hour, and when it breaks, 24/7.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show. All right, if you want to get in line for Dead or Alive, this is your last chance. We have one line open? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Now I realize new people are listening to the show every day. So if you haven't heard Dead or Alive before, super easy game to play. All the cool kids are playing it. All I do is name 10 celebrities. You have to guess if they're dead or alive. Whoever is on the phone at the end of these 10 celebrities, they get tickets to see the Texas Rangers. They're going to play against the Cleveland Guardians. They misspelled Indians again. It's going to be 7:05 on Wednesday, May 15th. So next Wednesday, not in 2 days, but next Wednesday. And it's not like we're giving you nosebleed seats in the outfield and you got to park 20 miles away in Grand Prairie and pay $50 and then walk the whole way. You get the good parking passes. So your parking's free and it's close and you have tickets in the 100s. I don't remember which section it is. I just remember it started with a 1. So it's also Texas Chili Company dollar hot dog night. So you're even going to get a deal on food. It's going to cost you, what, a couple bucks for some hot dogs total? Not counting all the beer you're going to drink. So that's what's at stake today on Dead or Alive. But you can get your tickets now. TexasRanger.com. All right, Mr. Jovi, hit the theme. Thank you, Mr. Jovi. Welcome to Dead or Alive. We're going to start with Daphne and Azel. You're my first contestant on Dead or Alive. You ready, Daphne?
I sure am.
All right, number 1, Donna Summer. Disco Queen Donna Summer. Is she dead or alive?
Dead.
You are correct. She died in 2012. Football legend, maybe the greatest running back of all time, Jim Brown. Is he dead or alive?
Dead.
That's right. He just died last year. Richard Roundtree. We all know him better as Shaft. Is he dead or alive?
I'm going to say alive.
Nope, he died in 2023. Thank you very much for playing, Daphne and Azel. Let's go to Steve. Steve in Weatherford, you're next up on Dead or Alive. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, so R&B singer Jewel. Who will save your soul? Is she dead or alive?
Alive.
Yes, sir. 49 years old. She looks like she's 30. Carol O'Connor, the guy who played Archie Bunker, dead or alive?
Dead.
He is dead. He died in 2001. Ron Dante. I didn't know who that was, so I had to ask Bruce. He's the lead singer of the Archies. You know, Sugar Sugar. Is he dead or alive?
Dead.
Nope. Ron Dante's still alive. 78 years old. I think I would have gotten that wrong, too. Thank you for playing, Steve. Let's go to Chris in Arlington. Are you ready to play Dead or Alive?
Yes, I am.
All right, we're on to Mark Hamill. Luke Skywalker, the guy who plays him, his name's Mark Hamill. Is he dead or alive?
Alive.
He is alive. Keeps doing Biden events, too. Did you see that? ABC News anchor Peter Jennings, dead or alive?
Dead.
Died in 2005. I didn't think he was that old. Shirley Jones. Is that the mama from the Partridge Family? Yeah, okay. Sean's nodding yes. Is she dead or alive?
I believe she's alive.
Well done. She's 90 years old. I think I would have missed that too. And finally, for the big finale, are you going to win this Texas Ranger tickets, Chris? It's going to be Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter. Is he dead or alive?
He's still alive.
Yes, 99 years old. We have a winner. All right, stay on hold here, Chris. Sean's going to get your info, and then you're going to get a pair of tickets and parking passes for Wednesday, May 15th, dollar hot dog night, you lucky dog, for the Texas Rangers. For the rest of us who didn't get to win Dead or Alive, you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. And I hope the Cleveland Guardians have a terrible game for you, Chris in Arlington. This has been Dead or Alive. All right, stay put on the James Show. Coming up next, we're going to talk about how working mothers are adapting to new technology in the workforce. That's coming up on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
There's something happening here.
Schools nationwide are trying to regain control after days of demonstrations.
What it is ain't exactly clear.
Us as Jewish American students, the first thing that we went out there for was to support, Israel's right to exist.
1,000 people in the street singing songs and to carry inside.
From the sea to the river. From the sea to the river. Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever.
Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Discover new interest, reignite old passions, and thrive at the Staten at Museum Way. Nestled in the heart of Fort Worth, the Staten is a senior living community like no other. Indulge in luxury amenities, gourmet dining, and exciting endeavors every day. Your next adventure awaits. Call 817-646-7181 or visit thestaten.com to schedule a tour today.
Okay, so you want to redo your office, and you need a little help. This is where Offco Office Furniture comes into play, and I'm Hal J. For all my friends at Offco Office Furniture, 200 West Rosedale, just across from the Medical District in Fort Worth. They've got it all for you right there under a 30,000 square foot showroom. That's right. Call Mark or Larry. Give them a call at 817-877-0708. They're also online at offcoinc.com. Be sure and tell them Hal J. said to call.
I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Before selecting an AC company, please take 10 minutes to go read Google reviews. There's an epidemic of salesmen disguised as technicians trying to con people into buying new systems. The reviews are all the same. The tech comes out, disappears for 10 minutes, then says you need a whole new system for 15 grand. Those lucky enough to get a second opinion often report there was nothing wrong with their system in the first place. At Reliant Air Conditioning, our techs don't work on commission and they don't sell new systems. While we're certainly not perfect, I personally get involved with every negative review to make sure we make it right. So choose 2 other companies first, read their reviews, and then read ours, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Right now, you can combine factory and utility rebates to save over $5,000 on a brand new system. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
And then...
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Guys, do you have lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido? These symptoms could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, their medical providers specialize in customized testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you'll get your results back at your first visit. To learn more and to book your appointment online, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Locations in Prosper, McKinney, and Walnut Hill near North Park Mall. Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Men, have you tried Cialis and Viagra and didn't like the way they made you feel? You're not alone. At Men's Edge Medical, they've helped thousands of Metroplex men perform better and last longer. Call Men's Edge today for a confidential appointment. 972-996-0900.
We have about a 15 to 20 minute delay in Fort Worth on southbound 35W because of a crash at Riffey Street blocking the right lane. Expect to be stop and go all the way back from I-30. Still have that disabled 18-wheeler in Dallas southbound 35E. It's blocking the left lane of the exit for eastbound Woodall-Rogers. And you also have a new crash on eastbound 635 just a little bit before Forest Lane. Left lane blocked here and about a 5 to 10 minute jam built up back from the high 5. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to TxDOT, on average, one motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Just a reminder, next time you're messing around on your social media feeds, find WBAP, find me, James Parker, find the James Show. We're putting up content on an almost daily basis, and I love interacting with you outside the show as well, because maybe one day I'll be like rich and famous and busy and have thousands of people just flooding my inbox, but really it's like 3 people a day, maybe 4. I mean, I have almost as many people who click like on pictures of my wife in various states of dress than actually contact me, which is, it's not an insult. I'm flattered by it, but I can see, right? When you go through my first personal Facebook page and you find my wife in a bathing suit and click like on it, and I don't know who you are, and you're some new person, I look you up, you're some rando that lives in Flower Mound. I know what's going on. All right, for my next guest, speaking of Miss Parker, let's address some things that she's dealing with, because she's one of the many working moms out there. And thank you. Jennifer Mulholland, co-owner of Plenty Consulting. What do you think about this new info we have? About 75% of mothers are now working mothers, and new technology is kind of changing their traditional roles. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
Well, it's here to stay. I'm afraid, or I'm happy about. I don't know how I feel about it. We are just juggling a ton of plates, and yes, technology and the speed of information and the change of differing subjects and how we get hijacked all the time with our time and attention is what's present for many of us, trying to be good moms and partners as well as great leaders in the business world.
What's their biggest complaint, Jennifer?
I would say overwhelm, that it's just too much, that, it just feels like as we mother others, we tend to put ourselves last, and we don't know how to mother ourselves. So sometimes we get overwhelmed and burn out and exhausted. And so finding that space to give the love and care and attention to yourself, it's sometimes harder than naturally being wired to give that to our children and our families and communities we serve.
Well, what's your advice to, let's look at it from the other point of view, to employers who have working mothers in the workplace? I think of when me and Miss Parker had 4 kids, she had to do something awkward. She had to take her breast pump to work while she was lactating, and she had to pump. She could shut her own office door and lock it, but I thought, how awful would that be for women who don't have their own office? Or, how could you work at a construction site, or how could you have an outside job, or some of these manual labor jobs, and still juggle that at the same time? It sounds, for many jobs, impossible to do both.
Yeah, I think as a leader and as an employer, you got to get really creative to create the space that your working mothers and staff just need to put their well-being first. And so whether it's nursing, I actually was just talking to somebody the other day that they had scheduled in on their calendar nursing breaks, right, at work. And we were talking about how those breaks are still on the calendar, even though she's way past nursing. So using that kind of as an excuse to step away from your desk and get some privacy and get some space. Space is so underrated, whether you're a mom or a dad or a working person, if you will, that like our space is crowded and we can't be our best selves unless we're giving ourselves time to change the subject, to get outside in nature, to take a deep breath and put ourselves first.
Yeah, and I imagine I see other families going through another thing we went through after we had 4 kids. My wife's career was not her most important priority. The kids were. Yeah. And so we were in a weird position of, how do you find a job that's okay with not being the top priority? And you know what? We found a reason why so many of these other professions are dominated by women, like teaching. Of course, they're going to have to accommodate working mothers, or schools would be about empty. So what are some of the other professions people can go to, or working mothers can go to, where it's okay if work isn't your top priority?
Yeah, I honestly think it really just depends upon the culture and the employer, because you can be in tech, or you could be in marketing, or you could be in communications and do a lot of that, over Zoom and on the phone. A lot of work these days, not all, but is about relationships. And so making sure that your employers and staff or employees and staff have the space to be able to juggle what's on their plate. And oftentimes employers kind of miss the boat by not asking those questions. And for moms out there, really making sure that you're in alignment with what lights you up. You're in alignment with what you're passionate about and what you're great at. And does the environment support that? And if it doesn't, then that job fit is really not for you. There are amazing professions out there that are less traditional that have come online very differently post-COVID, with so many people being able to be more flexible working from home and, juggling both a personal life and professional life, which to me, those days are long gone when those two parts of ourselves are separate. We live one life and we're the common denominator. So making sure you have an employer or a work environment that supports the whole you to be able to show up.
I was expecting you to use the term gig economy somewhere in there. I thought that's where you were headed. I've got Tim and Sherman on the phone here. He says, what about working dads? What about working dads,
Yeah.
Jennifer? What are they facing?
Oh, gosh. I think, honestly, they're facing the same thing. I think
I don't have to
I would
lactate.
just say-
I never had to do that.
You don't, and it is different definitely. But I think right now what's happening is that our attention is getting hijacked all the time with interruptions, with the news, with things that are happening with kids and at home, and it's just a very different, more fast-paced kind of integration of work and life. And so I'd say the same thing to dads. Like, space is underrated. Make sure you fill your cup up first. Do something you freaking love to do, because you'll bring that happiness, you'll bring that performance back to your work and back to home if you feel like it's not drudgery, if it feels like you have purpose and meaning and you're meant to be there and that you're contributing in a way that fuels you.
What does Plenty Consulting do? Can they help with this?
Yeah, we help leaders, conscious leaders, and conscious businesses grow, and we do that in a whole multitude of ways. But we focus on helping people grow from a revenue standpoint, an impact, making the world better, and most importantly, feeling fulfilled as part of the work that we get to do. So, just wrote a book published in March called "Leading with Light," and it's about helping conscious leaders when they're ready for more.
Well, if you can sneak me a free copy, I might put it on the list there. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Jennifer Mulholland, Plenty Consulting on The James Show.
Thanks.
Hey, Live Nation has Concert Week. It's a special promotion they're doing. They're just basically giving away tickets for $25. May 8th through May 14th, $25 tickets to over 5,000 summer shows. And, this isn't Skeeter and the Bug Tussles. This is like Hootie and the Blowfish, Santana, Styx, Foreigner. You should go anyway. But many more. Go check it out. You go to livenation.com/concert week. That's where the little secret promotion is. livenation.com/concert week. You can find out what's coming to town this summer. Get them for $25 between this Wednesday and next Tuesday, May 8th to May 14th. Sounds like a heck of a deal. livenation.com/concert week to learn more. All right, coming up next, we're going to get you updated on what happened with Trump. The judge slapped him with another contempt of court this morning, another fine this morning, threatened him with jail time again today. We'll get you caught up on that next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
The elites want more control through digital currencies in a cashless society. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I believe gold is the answer to safeguard your wealth, especially if you own your gold inside of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, so text SHELTER to the number 989898 to claim your free info kit today.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you have cancer, you have a powerful choice.
an advanced cancer treatment available right here in North Texas at Texas Center for Proton Therapy. Proton therapy precisely targets your cancer, sparing healthy tissue for fewer side effects. No doctor's referral is needed, so visit TexasProtons.com to find out if you're a candidate. Powerful cancer treatment, a powerful choice. The power of proton therapy at Texas Center for Proton Therapy.
At ASCO, we know when you work a livestock operation all day, every day, you need a tractor that gets the job done and then some. It's why we're on it. It's why we sell, service, and support Case IH equipment. We guess you could say that Case IH Farm All Utility Series tractors hold standard features to a higher standard. Because when it comes to performance, versatility, and value, there's nothing standard about them. Case IH equipment, sold at ASCO. ASCOEQ.com. At ASCO, we're on it, whatever it is.
Hall of Fame linebacker Mike Singletary is always cool under pressure.
Not always. Last summer, our AC went out and our house was hot, and so was I.
Thankfully, Mike called Baker Brothers.
One of my cool friends recommended Baker Brothers at callbakernow.com. So I did, and they came out, diagnosed the problem, and told us what they needed to do to fix it. They were professionals and did exactly what they said they were going to do. It was great. My wife and I looked at each other and said, wow, now that's cool. Baker Brothers exceeded our expectations, and we haven't had a problem with our AC since. Thanks, Baker Brothers.
You got it, Mike. This is Jimmy Dell, president of Baker Brothers Plumbing, Air, and Electric. If you need your AC repaired or replaced, go to callbakernow.com and schedule now. We have over 18,000 five-star reviews and offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. Baker Brothers. Great service.
Dan Bongino here. Today I've got something special for all of you homeowners. Expo Home Improvements Bathroom Remodeling Services. Let me tell you, if you're looking to take your bathroom from drab to fab, Expo Home Improvement is a name you need to know in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Visit expohomeimprovement.com today. Picture this, you walk into your bathroom and instead of feeling underwhelmed, you're greeted by a space that's stylish, functional, and downright luxurious. That's the magic of Expo Home Improvement. Their team of experts knows how to turn your bathroom design dreams into reality, whether you're craving a modern makeover or a classic upgrade. And here's the best part. Expo Home Improvement handles everything for you from start to finish. No need to stress about coordinating contractors or dealing with delays. They've got you covered, so you can sit back, relax, and watch as your vision comes to life. With 20% off your entire project this month only, you'll want to check them out. Visit expohome.com today to schedule your consultation and take the first step towards the shower of your dreams. Trust me, you won't regret it. That's expohomeimprovement.com. Improving homes, transforming lives.
Hi everybody, Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
You might think growing your business is intimidating, complicated, scary. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be. For experts like us, growing your business is exciting, inspiring, empowering. At Bank OZK, we offer competitive financing, flexible terms, and potentially lower down payments. Growing your business starts today. Visit your local Dallas branch or ozk.com/business to learn more. Bank OZK. Greater awaits. Member FDIC. All loans subject to credit and underwriting approval.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station.
Trending now.
A new warning from American officials over the war in Gaza. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
I-35 east southbound of Woodall Rogers, part of the ramp is still blocked off, so it's still heavy in the area, about a 5-minute backup there. Also on 635 eastbound at Forest Lane, 2 left lanes are closed off, slow there back to TI Boulevard. We do still have the issue on I-30 eastbound at Cooks Lane. The freeway is shut down there eastbound, 15-minute backup to East Loop 820. And in Fort Worth on I-35W southbound at Rippey, that one closes off the right lane. It's heavy back to I-30. With WBAP's First Traffic on the Ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Kyle Roberts. The rest of the week will feature some warmer temps, but also a cool down as well, and a couple chances for some rain. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 71, then 87 the high tomorrow under partly sunny skies. We'll hit 90 on Wednesday, but also with a 20% coverage of showers and storms. Cooler Thursday, but also with a 20% coverage and a high of 80. Friday's a high of 77.
83 degrees in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. As Hamas agrees to a potential ceasefire deal, the Biden administration is cautioning Israel over invading Rafah with concerns about civilian casualties. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby discussed the administration's position at a White House briefing.
We cannot and we will not speak for IDF operations, but we've made clear our views about operations in Rafah that could potentially put more than 1 million innocent people at greater risk. During his call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, the president again made this clear.
This morning, the Israeli military urged residents of the city in southern Gaza to evacuate, indicating a possible invasion. There are currently 1.4 million Palestinians in Rafah, many of whom migrated there following Israel's invasion of North Gaza last year. A new memorial is unveiled to the 8 people who died in the Allen Outlet Mall shooting 1 year ago today.
The memorial features 8 wind chimes, one for each of the slain victims, shopping just ahead of the Mother's Day weekend last year. It's been placed at the northwest interior section of Allen Outlet Mall, near community seating and flagpoles. The dead include a 3-year-old boy and 8 and 11-year-old girls. Half a dozen more were wounded. An officer ran after and took down the shooter as he was chatting about seatbelt safety in the parking lot with customers and heard the shots. Kimberly James, WBAP News.
Your Money News: Chinese leader Xi Jinping will spend most of his 5-day tour in Europe this week in 2 small countries at the continent's eastern half. It's a region Beijing has used as a foothold for its expanding economic ambitions in Europe. Xi first stops in Paris today and then will travel to Hungary and Serbia. The Dow closed up 177 points, NASDAQ up 193, the S&P 500 up by 53. Again, the low tonight around 71. It is 83 in Dallas, 85 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. Hey, how you doing? Hadn't seen you all weekend. Happy Monday. Jeremy Rosenthal's back on the show. Why? Because I need to talk to a lawyer. TexasDefenseFirm.com is his outfit based here in the DFW area. And we have news. Things happened in court today with Donald Trump and this judge. I don't think they're best friends. They're probably not going to send each other Christmas cards, Jeremy. He got slapped with another contempt of court, another $1,000 fine, and another threat of jail this morning. What do you think of that?
Well, so I think what happened here was that these are allegations that happened between the time that the prosecution made their first motion and the time that he ruled. So I don't think this was an instance. I know last week, you remember you had, who was it? Was it Saddam Hussein that would draw his line of death in the waters near Tripoli? And then every time Ronald Reagan would go past the line of death, he would just move the line of death a little bit closer and closer and closer to Tripoli.
That would be Gaddafi then, right?
Gaddafi. God, James, that's why I'm a lawyer, because I can't do other things.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I'd be good on your trivia team, Jeremy.
Yeah, you're right. Saddam Hussein, I think that was Iraq. Anyway, okay, you're right. We're okay. But so I don't think the judge is, the judge basically is taking the position that, look, I didn't threaten you with jail before you did these ones, so I'm going to hit you with a fine. That said, I think he's also trying to give Donald Trump as much rope as he can to hang himself. I mean, it is kind of one of those things that, look, on the 15th time, nobody's going to have any sympathy for you. I think that's the judge's position. If Donald Trump just The judge is going to say, look, man, you have stepped in the stool one too many times.
Stepped in the stool. Well played. I like that. So I saw one of the, I don't even know if this is true because I only saw it on X. You know how reliable social media can be. But one of the things that he had, it was a retweet from someone else, and it was a picture of a letter Stormy Daniels had written to someone, I forgot who, saying I never had an affair and all of that's a bunch of lies. Is that a legit letter? Have you seen that, or am I just caught up in a rabbit hole?
Just because you're caught up in a rabbit hole doesn't mean it's not true, and it doesn't mean. But I haven't seen it, so I have not seen what it is that you are referring to, and that's kind of one of the tricks here, right? There's a lot of rabbit trails here, and some of them are worthwhile, and some of them are just fun.
Yeah, I get those wrong sometimes. I just wanted to see if you had seen it too. So I guess not. That is a demerit against that theory like that. Now, what about the trial itself? We see the contempt of courts and the fines and the jail threats, but what about the actual case? How's that going? Do we know?
The prosecution is still presenting their case in chief. And this is a case, again, we've said it before, this is a case about Michael Cohen. The money trail is the money trail, right? If you believe the money trail, then it shows that there was potentially a money transaction here that is not accurate. The only thing that the money trail can't do is it can't put Donald Trump's thumbprint on the crime. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? And the one who can put the thumbprint on the crime, that would be Michael Cohen. So the prosecution is taking the position that, look, we're going to paper cut Donald Trump to death. We're going to put witness after witness after witness after witness. And by the time all these little witnesses are there, they're all going to slowly but surely add up to Michael Cohen being credible. By the time Michael Cohen takes the stand, the jury, you're going to believe him. That's what the prosecution's trying to do. The defense, what they're trying to do here is they've got to score the points where they can, and they've got to like with Hope Hicks on Friday, they tried to score what points they could with her, and they did so. I mean, they said, well, isn't he also trying to protect his family maybe by doing this? And she said yes. Also, Michael Cohen, he calls himself Mr. Fix-It, but he normally fixes his own mistakes, right? And she said that was true. She also said that he tends to go off the reservation, that he tends to go rogue, which again, if I'm Donald Trump's lawyers and I'm trying to not let them put his thumbprint on the case, that's how I'm arguing it. But that's kind of they could have called Michael Cohen first. They're going to call him probably last or close to last. And that's why, is they're trying to build up his credibility first.
Well, can it be undone when Trump's lawyers point out that the whole reason this dude is in here in the first place is he got busted for lying?
Welcome to criminal court. I mean, there are, in a lot of cases, there are snitches, right? And they get up on the stand, and you have to discredit them. And it's really hard. Statistics show overwhelmingly jurors like snitches. But where do you find the snitch, right? It's your cellmate. And that guy's not in there for anything good, is he? I mean, so you, as a prosecutor, you have to learn sort of, this is how we don't get to choose the witnesses here. We don't get to choose the folks that you're hanging out with during your drug deal, but those are all going to be the people who are pointing back at you. So Michael Cohen there is a lot there to work with if this trial is about his credibility.
If he does do another contempt violation and the judge says, I'm going to put you into jail, would it just be for a day? Would it be for like 12 hours? Would it be for a month? What's he looking at?
I believe in New York State, the penalty for contempt of court is up to 30 days. Here's what I think happens. I think that, I don't know. I mean, I think what could happen here is the judge could just basically pocket all of any new violations. He may just say, because we're about halfway home on this case, the judge may say, I'm going to rule all of these at the end of this trial. And when the jury is deliberating on guilt or innocence, he can have his hearing, and then he's going to say, if he finds these allegations true, he could throw Donald Trump in the can for 30 days for violations. Whether Trump is convicted or acquitted of this, I think he could do that. And I think to throw him in jail any sooner, I think that just adds to the circus factor of all this, which is already through the roof and is probably extremely difficult for any trial judge to navigate as it is, which is why I don't think you see Trump going to jail, at least during the trial. I'd be shocked if he went to jail afterwards, too, but you never know.
Well, at your law firm, y'all, I assume you have a big legal library for doing research and whatnot. Is there any research that can be done and find out why all these court sketches are done with chalk on a grocery bag? We never got to the bottom of that.
That's a good question. The legal library at our law firm is my brain, which is very, very scary and very, very, and it can be a very big wind tunnel at times. Or we call it the restatement second of how we do things around here. If you have any lawyers listening, maybe they laughed. But that's, I wish we could do a little bit better than this, but on a serious note, I really wish that we could see what's going on in this courtroom. I wish that we could watch it. I think in American history, there's never been a need to have a more transparent trial. In Dallas, we actually had a case get mistried about a week ago because the judge got caught on a hot mic because she was broadcasting her trial, criticizing the prosecution and talking about how she felt like the defendant was guilty. In the middle of a trial. Yeah. So that's a downside to broadcasting these things, but I mean, I'm sure the judge has a reason for not broadcasting it, but we really ought to be, if there's a time and situation for transparency with our legal system, I think this would be it.
Oh, dude, the double standard there is absolute trash, because everyone who's listening to us right now, Jeremy, remembers that, oh, no, you can't see the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. No, you can't have anything. No, you can't see the only time in American history a president's been tried for a crime. But every second of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, oh, yeah, you can have all of that. We will have a live coverage top to bottom. And that doesn't sit right with anybody, Jeremy.
No, it doesn't. But at least the Amber Heard trial inspired a generation of young Taylor Swift fans to all go to law school, and I know a few of them. I'm a daughter, or I'm a father of a big Taylor Swift fan, and so whatever it takes to get kids engaged, we'll take it.
Yeah, it probably inspired a whole new generation of housekeepers as well, dealing with the mattress situation. Thank you, Jeremy Rosenthal, TexasDefenseFirm.com.
Thanks, James.
Coming up next, Dallas voters went to the ballot box over the weekend, and they approved every single dollar, dime, and penny of debt that they could possibly stack on the back of the citizens of this city. The horrible report card next, but there are some bright spots. I'll tell you who the hero of Election Day is coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Tuesday at 6:47, it's National Nurses Week, how to cure the shortage in staffing.
And the latest on the Trump trial and his possible VP pick.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Mary, and Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports. And Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Tuesday's WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
At Airco Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, they're proud to have thousands of 5-star ratings from DFW homeowners. When you need help with your AC, heat, plumbing, or drains, Airco is always here for you. Don't let the hot summer months sneak up on you. Right now, book a $59 AC tune-up with Airco. They'll donate 4 pounds of dog food to the Humane Society of North Texas. Stay cool this summer and give to a great cause before the dog days of summer arrive. Schedule your tune-up today at airco.com or call 877-ITS-AIRCO.
Airco, we bring comfort home.
Are you ready to accelerate your success? Don't miss the Accelerate Conference at Gateway Church on May 17th. Discover how God's Way can transform your business and personal life with guest speakers like leadership guru John Maxwell, Dr. Phil, Pastor Robert Morris. This event promises invaluable insights. Enjoy book signings, breakout sessions, and an expert panel to answer all your questions. Use promo code WBAP and save 20% on your registration fee. Don't wait any longer. Secure your spot now at GBLAccelerate.com. That's GBLAccelerate.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could repair and restore damaged tissue. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Used by professional athletes like Emmitt Smith, This joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 469-557-5386. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 469-557-5386. That number again is 469-557-5386.
Hey, North Texas, Clarity Windows and Doors has been serving homeowners for over 20 years. And in that time, they won their most important award, the trust and friendship of thousands of happy customers. You don't have to take my word for it. They have several hundred five-star reviews, like Craig M., who writes, "We highly recommend Clarity Windows and Doors to anyone in need of windows or door installations." Cindy B. writes, "The entire crew at Clarity more than exceeded my expectations, and I'm so happy with my purchase." I love this one. Bretta J. writes, "They beyond crushed it, including the installation team being so polite and thorough." Give Clarity a call or click them online at claritywindows.com. You may be the next five-star review. Timeless beauty and savings is yours, plus 40% off every other window when you crush it with Clarity Windows and Doors.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Still got activity on I-35 East southbound at Woodall Rogers. That one blocking the left lane of the ramp. That's why things are still a little heavy on the approach there. 635 eastbound at Forest Lane. Two left lanes are blocked. That's slowing you back to 75 Central. Got a new one on 360 southbound at 183. Left lane's blocked off there. Closure in Fort Worth. I-30 eastbound is still shut down at Cooks Lane for a wreck. 45-minute backup now to Bridgewood. And I-35W southbound at Rippey. That one's still taking away the right lane. With WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by Novak Motors. Novak Motors sells gently used, well-maintained, low-mileage, one-owner vehicles that have passed a rigorous multi-point inspection. Honest, straightforward, no-stress car shopping is a Novak guarantee. Look for the big sign that says Novak Motors at 183 in Bedford, or call 817-616-0722.
Your money news at the top and bottom of each hour, weekdays. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Now, when we talk about these elections and politics and stuff, this is scary for me because I'm a bit of an outsider in a job that requires me to be popular. I'm graded by there's one and only one grade on my report card. That's my ratings. Period, point blank, end of story. And it's something I worry about as a guy who is a self-professed libertarian, but also just not in words, in actions, the way I vote, the people I support, the policies I support, the bonds I dislike. It's scary because I look at these surveys and I see only like 2% of the population shares my political beliefs. So I'm tasked with the job. I got to get on this microphone and get as many people as possible to listen to me when only 2% of you agree with me. So how am I going to get you to listen to a show with which you probably disagree with quite often? So this is scary for me to talk about because I really lost when it came to the elections over the weekend. I did a half hour last week and I even took some calls on it about how every single one of the bond proposals for the city of Dallas were hot garbage. 1.25 billion or 1 point whatever it was. They all passed anyway. It's just total loss for me. Apparently, no one listens to me in Dallas. Kind of heartbreaking stuff, and it wasn't even close. They all won. Some of them won with over 80% of the vote. Don't try and make me feel better by saying, well, James, it was only like 6% turnout or whatever. So really, no, that doesn't help any. That doesn't help any at all because something similar passed in Fort Worth. They had Proposition A, which I didn't talk about specifically on this show, but I think you could probably guess. dumb old James is against it. It adds 2% to the city's hotel occupancy tax, and this is to expand the convention center. Now, I didn't want to dig into this thing because I don't like to spend my weekends reading through bond issues or laws or any of that. But I suspect that once the city's convention center is expanded, well, this tax will go away, right? And they'll I don't know. I don't know if it's written in there. It may just be a new tax in perpetuity from now until the cows come home, and we just use the excuse of the convention center. And once that's taken care of, we'll still keep collecting it. 72% of people voted in favor of it. I think it's a terrible idea, but 72% of people in Fort Worth that voted disagree with me. That concerns me. Because in the county there that they were voting for this, 6.5% voter turnout. That's not bad for one of these Midland little local elections in the runoff situation. But it's not all bad news. I would like to spend a little more time praising the heroes of the James Show, because this is something I did mention. Up in Anna, they had $100 million worth of bonds. What were they going to do? Same old thing. Well, we got to expand our stadium. We've got to build some new facilities. We got to spend money on this and that. And there was also something else suspicious about the Anna ISD bond. They swore no matter what happens, we're going to spend $100 million and take on the new interest payments on it. But we promise we will not raise taxes in the city, and this will be a zero tax rate bond. Not believable. Not believable. Someone's just going to generously give you $100 million and let you pay it back on your own schedule and not charge you any interest on that? Who would do that? It's not believable. But the stadium, instead of going from 8,000 seats, it was going to go from like 2,000, 8,000. Anyway, 55% of people voted against it. Yes. Prosper ISD voted against their stadium. It was a $94 million stadium last year, another 55%. So, okay. I don't do so well. My thought process doesn't do so well in Dallas proper or Fort Worth proper, but if you get in your car and you drive about an hour or so in any direction, people start to think like me. Whew. Makes me feel a little bit better. But congratulations, Anna ISD. Congratulations, Prosper ISD. McKinney voters, not so much. Dang it. Y'all had $485 million in bond packages divided into 5 propositions. 4 out of the 5 passed. Louisville ISD, you get an F. Passed all 3 propositions in your bonds. And look, maybe I'm wrong. I should go through and read. And in the history of school bond issues, this is probably the most sound one. I doubt it, though. Frisco, how did you do? Well, they didn't have like a big bond issue like that, but they did have propositions they were voting on. Proposition A and B, which when I read it, because they weren't that long, it sounds like they were unionizing their police and firefighters. It was like, you can enjoy the collective bargaining rights of or whatever. And they voted against unionizing their police and firefighters. Cool. Not bad. But my hero is the people in Granbury. Granbury had a school bond issue, and the locals, or the people, seem to dislike it, but the local officials liked it. And we had stories coming out of Granbury where local officials were confiscating the campaign signs to take down the bond. And they're like, well, you can't post this in the median of a public road. Oh, okay. You're not taking down your political opponent's signs for political purposes. You're just enforcing the law. What about your signs? They're still up. They arrested the driver who was taking the no bond bus tour around town. The people who were against this bond, they got a bus. They had a tour. They hired a driver. They said, I'm sorry, you don't have the proper permits. Your driver's license doesn't cover this, just a Class C driver's license. And, just following, we're not doing this as a political persecution, just following the law. Still failed. God bless those people. Granbury, so proud of you. Big Spring ISD, which is probably right outside of our listening area. Love you too. Shot it down. Look, before you start to pound on me about, well, what's wrong with all these bonds? You don't think we should have theaters? You don't think we should have nice parks? You don't think we should have roads and stuff? Go look at how much debt we're already in. Dallas is $7 billion in debt. Add another 1.25 to that. We're not doing as bad as Houston. Houston's $20 billion in debt. San Antonio, $17 billion in debt. But here's the ugly part. We're really, we've passed $4.5 billion worth of bonds. The principal is what we're paying on. We owe $2.5 billion in interest as it stands already. We didn't even get anything out of that. When you finance things with bonds, you're flushing future money down the toilet. And one of the reasons we don't have money to cover some of our parks and our theaters and other things we don't really need to function as a city, superfluous luxuries, is because so much of our budget now is being eaten up by the bonds we've passed in the past. So anyway, I just wanted to update you on that. There were some winners. There were some losers. I was proud of some people. I was very disappointed in some people. And overall, I'm concerned that more people don't shoot these down. So that is your Election Day summary on The James Show. Coming up next, I'm going to fight against this idea that this is the most important election ever. I'm tired of this hyperbole, and I hope to put it to bed because I just roll my eyes every time I hear it. But I'll explain why. Coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Here at Massey, we've seen the damage termites can cause. That's why we've protected homes from termite damage for almost 100 years. Our termite protection program doesn't just protect your home from termites, it gives you peace of mind. That's why our termite protection guarantee covers your home and all the things in it. When we protect against termites, we protect families. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Thomas J. Henry Law has more than 2,700 five-star Google reviews from satisfied clients. If you've been injured and need an attorney, don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today at tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. Not with Orchard. Orchard helps you get top dollar for your home. And Orchard gives you an impressive guaranteed cash offer. With a solid cash offer in your back pocket, you can hold out for the price you deserve. Imagine knowing your home is guaranteed to sell. Get the most money for your home with Orchard. Get your free guaranteed cash offer at Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
NBC5 is now streaming live on Peacock.
We have breaking news tonight in Dallas.
We are pushing for information.
Get your local news and weather, plus your favorite NBC shows. From today to The Tonight Show live.
It's kind of huge news.
Streaming now on on Peacock. When weather becomes risky, NBC5 sends out severe weather alerts, keeping you informed, up to date, and safe. Download the NBC DFW app to know where the storm is and where it's heading first. The most accurate forecast in North Texas from the NBC5 weather experts.
This is Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. I don't have a funny nickname or a silly TV spot. We do have over 40 years experience fighting for injured North Texans and low pre-suit fees. Being local matters, and we win. Call me, 214-INJURED, mullenandmullen.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
The growing concern of Jewish students on North Texas college campuses. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
635 eastbound at Forest Lane. The two left lanes are blocked off. The backup there to 75. That'll cost you an extra 15 minutes. Now in Fort Worth, I-30 eastbound is shut down at Cooks Lane for a wreck. There's a 45-minute backup behind it to Bridgewood. Also in Fort Worth, I-35W southbound at Rippey. That one in the right lane. It's heavy to I-30. And southbound I-35W at Garden Acres, the right lane blocked. That's now a 20-minute delay stretching all the way back to I-20. With WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, mostly cloudy tonight with a low 71 degrees. It is 82 in Dallas, 83 in Fort Worth. Continued pro-Palestinian demonstrations on college campuses are leading to growing concern among Jewish Americans. Yehuda Rimir lives in North Texas and is reminding Jews about what he calls the importance of the Second Amendment.
A lot of people ask me, as an Orthodox Jew, am I afraid? And I would say I'm more cautious rather than afraid, and that's because I exercise my Second Amendment. I use it, I own it, and I'm proud to, be able to support and defend my friends, my family, my community.
Jewish students in DFW are reporting an increasing amount of anti-Semitism on campuses like UT Dallas and UNT. Your Money News, President Joe Biden says he does not support renewing the Trump tax cuts, which are set to expire next year. Fox's Edward Lawrence has more.
The president over the past 2 weeks has been saying that he will let those tax cuts expire, and he's been letting crowds get ramped up about that. But the fact is that he makes it sound in his speeches that this would only affect the wealthy or corporations. The fact is, if those tax cuts expire, it will affect all Americans, almost all Americans. So the Tax Foundation goes on to say that a family with 2 kids making $165,000 a year will pay more than $2,400 in extra taxes. A married family with 3 kids making $200,000 would pay about $7,500 more. If you have no kids and you're making $75,000, you're going to pay an extra $1,700 a year.
The White House has noted the tax cuts will add trillions to the national debt over the span of a decade. The Dow closed up 177 points, NASDAQ up 193, the S&P 500 up by 53. Again, the low tonight around 71. It is 82 in Dallas, 83 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 5 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
So we've got the Stars getting ready to host the Avalanche at the American Airlines Center. Mavericks making a short trip to Oklahoma City to face the Thunder. And out on the West Coast, Texas Rangers playing the Oakland A's. It's a busy time here in North Texas when it comes to sports. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Last Friday night, the Mavericks finished off the LA Clippers in their first round NBA playoff series, winning that in 6 games. So now it's off to OKC against a Thunder team that swept New Orleans in 4 straight games, so they're rested and ready to go. First game Tuesday night at 8:30, where at the same time, the Dallas Stars will be playing Colorado on the Frozen Trinity. Stars coming off that huge 2-1 win over the Vegas Golden Knights last night in a Game 7. And then you've got the hottest team in the American League West right now, the Oakland A's. Believe that. Getting ready to play the Texas Rangers in a 4-game series. Rangers coming off a weekend where they took 2 out of 3 in Kansas City to start this 10-game road trip. The Athletics have won 8 of their last 10 games. They're only 2.5 games behind the Seattle Mariners. Rangers are a half a game out of first. That's your Monday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now WBAP FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Here's a saying that all but the most partisan among us are tired of hearing. This is the most important election in American history. This is the most important election in your lifetime. Now, those are somewhat different statements. For anyone who says this is the most important election in history, you are so wrong. You are embarrassing yourself. Really, this is more important than the election of George Washington. This is more important than the election that caused the Civil War that almost split this country apart and Abraham Lincoln ended slavery. We just got the freedom for 20% of our population that was previously enslaved in that election. But yeah, this one's probably more important. Who the hell thinks like that? No one really believes that. The reason why people say that is because they want you to be so scared that you go vote for their team, because they think that they're talking to the members of their team. So Sean Hannity will say this because he knows he's talking to the partisan members of Team Red. It's the most important election in your lifetime. And I like Sean Hannity. I've met him a couple times. He's been super nice to me. I think he runs a great show. He's a great broadcaster. I agree with him politically about 60% of the time. But I've seen him with my own eyes and heard him with my own ears say that in pretty much every presidential election cycle since I've been paying attention in talk radio. And the first time I really paid attention was 2004. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, now 24. I have covered professionally, not just as an adult, but as a talk radio host. This will be my 6th presidential election cycle. Tired of hearing this, man. I've heard it every single one. And if you're right about this time, then I want to hear you say, I'm sorry I said that before. I was wrong previously. I was wrong in 2004 and 2008 and 2012 and 2016 and 2020. No, for real this time, this is the most important election in our lifetime. And even when you talk about the most important election in our lifetime, is it? Really? How important? How would your life? Here, let me put you through this, because I mean, my talk radio career started with the first election. I was just dumbfounded at how different it is when you're covering it versus if you're one of the voters out there and you have a normal job where you go do something else for 8 hours a day, and then you just try and catch up on the evenings or on your breaks, or mess around on your phone while you're walking around. But we had to field calls on the talk radio show I was on in 2004, and I used to have a fun little trick. Someone would call in and they would say, I'm voting for John Kerry over George W. Bush, and I would ask the same question as if someone said, I'm voting for George W. Bush over John Kerry. I would say, on which policy do they disagree that you're basing your decision? Because I was blown away at how similar the two guys were. The two guys had exact same ideas for the budget. They had no plans on balancing it. George W. Bush took a balanced budget and blew it. Started some wars. He expanded Medicare and Medicaid. He doubled the size and spending of the Department of Education. He had no intention of balancing the budget, and he wasn't going to try for 5 seconds. John Kerry, exact same thing. George W. Bush wanted to have us in 2 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan for as far as the eye could see, with no real end in sight. John Kerry, same thing. Well, what about all the spending on the war, the $79 billion? Well, I voted against it before I voted for it, or something like that, or maybe it was backwards. But there wasn't a whole lot of daylight, aside from a couple things like, I don't know, abortion. Nothing. There was nothing that was different. How about this? Very little for the corrected correctorsons out there. But tell me, Republican or Democrat listening right now, how different would your life have been if John Kerry had won that election in 2004 versus George W. Bush? What happened in that 4-year span that if only that hadn't happened, your life would be so much better or so much worse? See, this is an infection on both Team Red and Team Blue. And for the truly independent ones out there, I realize a lot of people out there are either Team Red or Team Blue. They just say they're independent so they don't have to field criticism of their team. It's intellectual sloth, but I understand why you do it. But this is reason number 5,912. I know I'm not on either one of your teams, because you will not hear me say that. I know you haven't known me that long, but remember this show. Remember what I'm saying today, right now, on May 6th. If you ever hear me say, this is the most important election in your lifetime, between now and Election Day, I want you to call in the show. Sean will put you through, and I want you to call me out live on air. I promise I will relent. I will repent. I will apologize. But, I mean, it's not going to happen. because I don't believe it, and I'm not going to say things I don't believe. I have never thought any of these elections in the last 20 years were the most important ever. Because, you know, the closest I saw two candidates was that first one, George W. Bush and John Kerry. But even since then, there has never been a wide separation between the two major candidates, in my estimation. The number one thing I want to see is, hey, someone balance the budget. No one's even talked about it since 2000. It hadn't been an issue. So James, what would be the most important election of your lifetime? If I were to rank them, a midterm election is probably the most consequential one that you and I both had. The 1994 midterm election where Newt and the crew had the contract with America and they rode the wave to the first Republican majority in the House of Representatives in like 50, 60 years, since like the 30s, I think it was. But I say that was the most important election in our lifetime because that was the last time we balanced the budget. It was under that Congress. And they didn't do it out of, strong limited government principles. This was Team Red trying to cut off Bill Clinton at the knees, not approving any of his spending programs and cutting them under the guys, we're just balancing the budget. No, you're politically attacking him and cutting him off. But hey, if you're going to balance the budget, fine, do it. Be all nitpicky like that if you're going to. But nope, hadn't happened since then. The balanced budget only happened for 3 years. And what did we have there? We had amazing growth. We had amazing progress. We had the whole internet boom. That was when we solidified Google and some of these other giant tech companies, the Amazons and the Microsofts, and later on the Facebooks. And look, there is no guarantee that when the internet came around that America would be the house of all these giant multinational corporations that basically run the internet for the rest of the world. Silicon Valley could have happened in other places, but we had our crap together in the late 90s, and that was part of it. We didn't have all that deficit spending. We didn't have these big interest bills that are now eating up a giant chunk of our budget. We didn't spend 70% of our federal budget on social programs, taking $1 from you and giving it to some other person who didn't earn it. But I challenge you. I mean, I could open the phones, but no one can answer. What would be different about your life if John Kerry had beaten George W. Bush in 2004? Nothing. And aside from like abortion and maybe these tax cuts, which is something, there's not a whole lot of space between Trump and Biden. I don't know why y'all are both so hot and heavy that the other guy's the worst guy in the world, my guy's awesome. They look pretty close to the same. To any non-team wearing or jersey wearing observer, do either one of those dudes want to balance the budget? Do either one of those dudes want to end forever wars? We already saw Trump do 4 years of war, and now Biden's done 4 years. At least he closed Afghanistan, but he started up Ukraine. So, no, it's the same thing. Did the government get smaller under any of these guys, or did it grow through all of these dudes? Both of these dudes want more growth. Both of these guys. What's the point? This may be the least important election in American history because we know things aren't going to fall apart. We have two guys who have been president before. We know it's not going to be a total disaster. They've already had 4 years and the country didn't fall apart. Yeah, I'm leaning more toward that. This is the least important election in your lifetime. So don't get too worked up about it. We'll try again in 4 years. This is the James Show. I mean, do you want to argue with me on that one? I don't know where you could even argue. I mean, I'll open up the phones, but I don't think anyone's going to call. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820, now on FM at 93.3.
It's a big case for the prosecution.
Trump faces 34 felony counts of falsifying business records.
You're on a legal expense. I got indicted for that.
Those crimes included violating federal and New York State election law.
Giving the money to hush up Stormy Daniels.
This is done as election interference. Everybody knows it. What's going on right here should never be happening.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. less wrinkles on your clothes, you know it's the Sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the Sheet.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
And then,
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
WFAA News at 6 and 10 p.m. features bold reporting.
Massive blast rocked southern Dallas. Several people have been injured.
The building that sustained so much damage.
Dynamic coverage.
2 victims are fighting for their lives here. There's just no words.
Serious situation right now that's developing across North Texas.
And original content.
We climbed and crawled to the light.
I mustered up all the strength that I had left.
Relevant news that affects you. Accurate stories. And North Texas's most trusted team. We are WFAA.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It is absolutely the best product we've ever used, no question.
I would take it daily. You just woke up in the morning and felt great.
Well, I'm in my 90s. I was so impressed with it that I bought all my children that. I have 4 children, and they all got a shipment of it. It's a great product. Yes, I love it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
Brought to you by Novak Motors. No hidden fees, a lifetime powertrain warranty, and a 7-day worry-free exchange program are just a few of the reasons Novak Motors is a totally different way of new vehicle shopping. Call 817-616-0722, 817-616-0722, or go to novakmotors.com.
I-35 east southbound of Woodall Rogers. That one's still there hanging out in the left lane. Still a little bit slow on the approach there. Now 635 eastbound at Forest Lane. They cleared one out. It's unwinding from 75. I-30 eastbound at Cooks Lane. The roadway still shut down for the wreck with a 45-minute backup to Bridgewood. I-35W southbound at Garden Acres. That one in the right lane. It's slowing you back to I-20. With WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Find sweet savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 16 ounces of organic strawberries for $3.99 each with Prime through May 7th. Bake a strawberry shortcake to enjoy in the sunny spring weather. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply. From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. I'm just mocking the idea that this could be the most important election in American history, and I doubt, seriously, strongly doubt, it's the most important election in our lifetime. I can make the case it's the least important election in your lifetime. But where did this come from? I'm not just pulling this out of the sky. I'm sick of turning on the TV or the radio and hearing Jonathan Karl, ABC. Listen to this.
Welcome to This Week. For as long as I've covered politics, politicians have said this will be the most important election of our lifetimes. They said that no matter how high or low the stakes actually were. Election Day 2024 is exactly 6 months from today, and this time, the divisions in our country are so vast and the choice so stark, there's little doubt this really is the most important election of our time. No more crying wolf. This is it.
Now, for real, I mean it this time. Not kidding around. I know I was kidding around before, and I said I was serious before, but I was kidding, and now I'm serious. It's not believable. No, you can't say that every time and still be believable. I'm just too much of a butthead. 800-288-9227. I have a memory, and I use it. Russ in Lake Worth, you're on the James Show. What do you think? Convince me this is an important election.
Well, first of all, I agree with you. I'm a small government guy, and neither side is that way. But let me tell you, there's some real serious difference here. The way this alphabet soup of agencies in the executive branch is going to deal with us is vastly different. As soon as this administration came in, these agencies just became headed up by activists. They wanted to take the chains off of my roller shades. All right. Literally, what they want to do is they want to have power, and they're going to step on you. And whether or not we have 80,000 IRS agents extra is probably part of that too. So no, these guys are not going to balance the budget. And I said that before Trump was elected, and I voted for him twice. And I argued with the last guy that used to have this spot about that no, we weren't going to get to a balanced budget. But the way these agencies in the executive branch deal with us, the American people, is vastly different.
Yeah, but still, I don't think it's that different. Regulations still went
vastly different.
The government grew, right? Regulations grew. So yes, one guy wants to regulate and govern a little bit harder than the other guy, but the other guy still is okay with growing it. And we are far beyond the point to where this is acceptable. There is no acceptable governing philosophy in my mind other than the guy that wants to go up there and shrink things. Trump didn't go get rid of the Department of Education. Trump didn't get rid of the EPA. Trump didn't get rid of wide swaths of the government that deserve to die and go under, never to rise again.
All right, this election is about, now I'm not saying it's the most important one, but I'm saying this. I'm saying these agencies will just absolutely get more and more power, and I'm saying the deficit will be worse under the Democrats. And I'm saying if we want to at least go in the right direction, I'm a balanced budget guy. I'm a small government.
No, you're
guy.
not. You're not. You're not. You keep voting. You're voting for bigger government. You voted for bigger government twice. You voted for bigger deficits twice.
No,
you can't have it both ways.
No, I vote for the best I can do with what. Okay.
Okay. No. I like.
Is going to win.
I hear you. I'm not. I don't agree with that argument, but I understand it. So you're not a crazy person. I understand why you do it. I just have far less faith than you do in what's. Let me take another caller because this guy looks like he might be fun. Patrick in DeSoto. And thank you, by the way, Patrick in DeSoto. You're going to be my last caller. What do you think about this?
Well, I told your call screen I thought you were full of crap when you there's not a beans for the difference between the two of them.
Right.
People are policy. In terms of regulation, Trump was bragging how many regulations he'd knocked down after Obama put all that stuff in, and Biden went back in and put all the regulations back in and issued all the executive orders. I mean,
okay, listen,
yeah.
Look, you guys, you all mean well. I can tell you're not coming at me from a bad faith angle here, but they are not that different. Listen, if think about this, the craziest thing that happened under Trump's term was the whole coronavirus. The thing that's still rocking us today. The reason why you have almost 4% inflation and the economy's terrible and McDonald's costs $15 for a number 2 is because all the extra deficit spending, all the shutdowns, the paycheck protection program, kicking you out of your church, shutting your kids' schools, both parties were cool with that. Donald Trump was told to do it by people who were on Team Blue, and he agreed to it. They're both guilty. What happened if Trump hadn't been in office? You think Hillary would have done the lockdowns? Absolutely. You think she would have spent another $4 trillion that we didn't have? Absolutely. Trump had the worst record of debt of any president before him, and the one before him, Obama. That's number 2 on the list. If Biden can stay in long enough, he's going to beat him. But we can't go from the guy that had the worst record in financial history and be like, well, I'm a limited government guy. I've got to vote for him again. That doesn't stand up. The real argument is what the caller before him said. I like him better than Biden. He's not as bad as Biden. Fine. I can't argue with that. I'm just saying that's not enough for me. That's why I am the way I am, and nobody agrees with me. And I'm in the tiny 2%, and I'm going to lose every election until the year I don't. Thank you very much for tolerating me, though, because I know a lot of you disagree with me. I see you people on hold. Look at all these people who disagree. I love you. Call back tomorrow. We'll chat about this again. I love talking about this, though. I think we're making progress. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Casey Bartholomew here. Mortgage rates are lower going into the spring selling season. Chris Waters has the plan and experience to sell your home fast for maximum cash. Are you worried about getting one of those lowball instant offers? Well, Chris Waters is the real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Waters Realty guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes. With Chris Waters, there are no required costly repairs. You pick your move date. There's no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Megan and James were empty nesters, ready to cash in on their equity and have some fun. Their prior real estate agent failed to deliver a decent offer in more than 60 days. They changed to Waters Realty, the marketing blitz was launched, and they got the offer they wanted in less than a week. Call the agent who guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes. Call the team I recommend, Chris Waters and Waters International Realty, to see if your home qualifies at 214-689-6646 or go to ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.
Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate your car today at junkforjoy.org. You'll get a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate today and your car will be picked up by tomorrow.
Okay, so you want to redo your office and you need a little help. This is where Offco Office Furniture comes into play, and I'm Hal J. For all my friends at Offco Office Furniture, 200 West Rosedale, just across from the Medical District in Fort Worth. They got it all for you right there under a 30,000 square foot showroom. That's right. Call Mark or Larry. Give them a call at 817-877-0708. They're also online at offcoinc.com. Be sure and tell them Hal J. said to call.
Did you know you can lose up to 25% efficiency by having leaky windows in your home? It's really true. Hi, it's Ernie. This is a great time to replace those leaky and inefficient windows or replace that old shower or tub you've been putting off. Why? Well, because this month, Statewide is looking for 30 homeowners to receive free installation on a house full of windows or on a new bath and shower with no interest and no payments until 2026. Now, if that's not enough, you can receive up to a $1,200 tax credit by putting their energy-efficient windows in your home. Plus, the pros at Statewide are recognized as a top bathroom remodeler. From beautiful wall surround options to sleek shower enclosures and walk-in tubs, they have you covered. It's why they're recognized as one of the top bathroom remodelers. So, no interest and no payments until 2026, free installation. All you have to do is call now, 214-214-6000. That's 214-214-6000, or go online to statewideremodeling.com.
Will your retirement dreams survive the next market crash? Do you have a plan for a potential 30, 40, or even 50% fall? Imagine the sacrifices you may have to make. Would you be forced to unretire? Hi, I'm Ken Moray, founder and CEO of Retirement Planners of America, here to invite you to one of our free retirement planning seminars. We'll explain our invest and protect strategy and how it is designed to protect you from the next bear market. We want your money to last as long as you do. We'll also discuss Social Security, Medicare, retirement cash flow, and more. Don't miss out on this free opportunity to expand your retirement knowledge. Sign up for a seminar today.
Call now, 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
Retirement Planners of America, RPOA.com.
Smacking, a 5.
Okay, Paul, on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable is this next one? The word moist.
4.
Okay, we're improving. Now, one more. This can be tough for some. Take a deep breath. Uneven room temperatures.
Okay, no, you know how I feel about
Paul,
that.
Paul, remember what we've talked about. What's our coping strategy?
Milestone.
Yes, Milestone what?
Milestone can fix all uneven room temperatures with the room temperature service for only $189.
If you have one room in your house that is way too hot or way too cold, you don't have to live like that. With our advanced diagnostic tools, we will fix the airflow imbalances in your home in less than 2 hours for only $189. And if your issue's not resolved, we'll refund you your money. Call Milestone today and ask for the Milestone Room Temperature Service.
We'll fix it in a flash.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The White House reaction to the latest ceasefire talks from Hamas. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Problem spot on I-35 east southbound of Woodall Rogers finally cleared out of there. The delay starting to unwind as well. 635 eastbound at Forest Lane. It looks like that one's now off to the shoulder. It's unwinding from TI Boulevard. Also got one still on I-30 eastbound at Cooks Lane. The freeway is still shut down at about a 30-minute backup to Bridgewood there. And on eastbound North Loop 820 at Roof Snow, the wreck's in the express lanes. That right express lane blocked off there. With WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got them. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Kyle Roberts. Temperatures will warm the next couple days before a cool down late week. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 71, then up to 87 tomorrow under partly sunny skies. 20% coverage of rain on Wednesday, but also a high of 90. Cooler on Thursday with a high of 80, but also 20% coverage of showers and storms. We're dry on Friday, and it'll be even a little cooler with a high of 77.
82 degrees in Dallas, 83 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. The White House is responding to Hamas's claims that it's ready to accept new terms to a new ceasefire. Fox's Jackie Heinrich has the latest.
It was certainly a surprise to the White House to see this statement come from Hamas claiming that they had agreed to something. It's still unclear if what Hamas says it agreed to is in line with what the U.S. and Israel had put on the table, with what the CIA Director Bill Burns had been trying to broker in the region. But the reaction here has been somewhat muted. They're waiting for Israel and for the U.S. basically to look over the details of this deal and determine if it's something that anyone can swallow. There was a statement that came across the wires that indicates that Jordan's king, in his meeting this afternoon with President Biden, warned against an Israeli operation in Rafah, saying that it could lead to a new massacre.
Israel says the proposal is far from its necessary requirements, but is engaged in the talks. Jewish Americans in DFW are keeping safety and security top of mind as pro-Palestinian demonstrations continue to play out on college campuses. Yehuda Remeir lives in North Texas and says he openly carries when in public.
I'd rather have it and never need it than wish I had it. You know, it's like I say, people with ARs don't get in cattle cars, so I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Jewish students on college campuses in North Texas have reported a growing amount of anti-Semitism since Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. Your Money News, 91 east and southeast Texas counties have been slammed with torrential rain and flooding, leading to disaster declarations by Governor Greg Abbott. The governor says 5 outside states have sent resources to Texas dealing with ongoing flooding.
We all know that regardless of what type of event we are dealing with, whether it be a hurricane, a flooding event, a fire, whatever, the main thing we want to do is to protect lives.
The governor urging people who have had damage to report it so Texas can eventually get federal financial assistance. The governor also warning residents to be on the lookout for potential scammers taking advantage of victims. The Dow closed up 177 points, NASDAQ up 193, the S&P 500 up by 53. Again, the low tonight 71. It is 82 in Dallas, 83 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 5:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected. DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Will Hite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to willhitewins.com.
Okay. Jump back! What's that sound? Here she comes, full blast and talking down. Let her speak, she's not meek.
I'm speaking.
Former DA, back in the day. Don't you know she's with Uncle Joe? They want another turn. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have one. Are you ready? If you are not first, you are last.
Kamala. Kamala.
The most important election in our lifetime is approaching. Keep connected, DFW, for the latest. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Men's Edge Medical, right here in Dallas, has helped thousands of Metroplex men with ED and other performance issues. They're not just a 1-800 number, and they don't want to just send you a free pamphlet. They want to provide you with a comfortable environment and a solution customized just for you. Here's patient counselor Raul Garza.
At Men's Edge Medical, we take the time and have the expertise to create the best solution that is right for you. We offer affordable, reliable, and safe results for all ED and premature related issues.
One size should not fit all when it comes to your health. Your regular doctor may prescribe medications with common side effects. Call the experts at Men's Edge Medical right here in Dallas for a consultation today.
You really have nothing to lose. If you don't see results on your first visit, your visit is absolutely free.
Call 972-996-0900. Call today. That's 972-996-0900.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
This is my father, Bob.
This is my daughter, Lisa.
And we love Balance of Nature. Don't you?
You think I'm going to say no to her? Balance of Nature is a very good product. It's simple application, a simple thing to take.
It's fruits and veggie in a capsule.
That's it. Balance of Nature has helped me get along very well.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
Mark Levin. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.